Hey there, I'm Cyberchroma, and welcome back to another stream where it's been a couple of days because I've been busy for many different unrelated reasons that just led to missing a couple streams. So oops, apologies, but I'm back for now, and yeah, continuing to work on Handyman with Unicycle. Also, hold on, my microphone's in the wrong position. Let me correct that. Yeah, also, hello, Francesco. I see you there. Hello, hello. Welcome. So, I gotta remember exactly where I was leaving off with this. I have a rough idea of what my plans for the next couple streams with this are. Well, the general thing is that we're working towards, ever since we made our new player, remade from the ground up, we've been fixing different stuff with that and getting it functional with the rest of the game. And when we're done that, then we're going to be starting work on our first real level, which I'm looking forward to, and also concerned if it's going to go well, or whatever problems we will face that we will deal with as we get through it. Also, someone came to say hello. Hold on, let me... You gonna be camera shy? Or not? Hello, it is my cat. Yeah. So, yeah. What were cat? Yee! Yeah, she's here. She's doing good. Hard to holding her up in frame of camera, but yeah. Where was I? What was I saying? We're going to make our first real level, but we still got some work to do. I'm hoping, what is currently the plan, I have I think it was 3 things or so that I hoping to do today in terms of finishing off some stuff with the player. And then next stream that we're working on this game, I think will be when we start to actually move into this scene and are starting to make our first real level and all of the trials that will be involved with that. Hey miss, you doing okay? You doing good? Yeah, oh, she wants down. Whoever wants down. Hold on. Alright, there she goes. She's gonna just on that chair for now. I assume she's gonna leave in 3 seconds. Yeah, there she goes. Anyways, so, yeah, let's head back over to scene that we're actually gonna be working in over here. And, well, actually might be working in the other test scene. It'll be nice when that's all, more so cleaned up. But anyways, last time that we were working on this, we were getting Tightropes functional. Oh, is this tightrope not gonna be functional? That's interesting. Hold on. I have a theory that, over in this scene, we made this tightrope work. Either I didn't apply the player prefab, or, okay, good, I was getting concerned there. I guess we didn't apply the player prefab or something like that. Anyway, yeah, tightropes, they used to be functional. They are functional again, which is pretty cool. Still need some work to them, but better than being completely broken, as you saw a second ago in that other scene. Yeah, so you can bounce on them. It's all cool and whatnot. You can even kind of go along them backwards. That's cool and all. Okay, so things I would like to attempt to do in this scene. This first one is something that could either be easy or be the worst thing ever. We're gonna see which it actually ends up being here today. Is that tightrope on an angle does not work at all at the moment. One, that. Thing 2, if I stop in the middle of a tightrope, then it kind of weirdly fall back down, which you could be oh, gravity or something, but also no, I'd rather it be how it was originally, where when you stop partway, you stop partway. It doesn't do whatever it thinks that it's doing here. So we gotta find out what's doing that. Thing 2, we made the player have a sort of underwater mode when we were building the mid-air controls on the new player. Making it underwater mode just helped in that process. So this exists, but my only way of being in this mode is by directly setting the player state. Actually, can I do it while I'm in play mode? No. That is negatory. Kinda. Hold on. Yeah, no, it does not transition well in mid-gameplay. So I want to just make something in this test level, just a body of water to be able to go in and out of. I don't think that'll take that long, in theory. It's a matter of just doing it. And I think I had a third thing that I'm blanking on what it is right now. But those are the main 2 things, and then other bits of cleanup as we decide. There's so much cleanup that we can continue to do things to improve and da-da-da. But I'd like to, sooner than later, get to actually working on real level and fixing a lot of these problems in the context of real gameplay or whatever, right? I think it'll be better to get us the results that we actually want. You know, things like adjusting move speed, mid-air controls, stuff like that. Yeah, anyways, my cat wants out of my room. I'm gonna open door, be right back in like 5 seconds, and then we'll get started for realsies. Alright, so I'm deciding which the thing I actually want to do first. I named the stream, assume we do the tightrope thing first. I'm deciding whether I want to do the underwater thing. Okay, let's take a look at the tightrope thing. I'm concerned in that it might be something small, not that bad, or it could be something that takes the entire stream and more of just being some annoying math, complicated physics thing. Now, I'm pretty sure that our old player, tightrope stuff did work going uphill and downhill. I believe that was a thing, so I don't know why it currently isn't. So I guess that's what we're hoping to find out. Okay, so... Well, yeah, we're just gonna start by going into play mode, going on this, and trying to track down... yeah, sort of what position is wrong. Placing breakpoints, putting print statements, all that fun stuff. I shouldn't have to rewrite a significant amount of the tightrope code. In theory, in a perfect world, I shouldn't have to mess with this at all, but I probably will. Because it worked on the old player. I mean, it worked with this tightrope code. And we changed the player a lot, but not a lot in terms of the behavior that happens when the player isn't moving, I think. So, also, I haven't looked at this code since last stream that we've been working on this, so gotta first just wrap my head around where I'm actually having to look to find the bits of information I'm hoping to actually find. So this whole move along tightrope, stick to tightrope, balance. Actually, oh yeah, there's something I should do sooner than later. Is turning off the balancing part entirely, because we don't need that. Turn thing, like that's angling us towards the tightrope, right? I guess one thing I can do, I believe this is just a visual thing. If I turn that off, will that cause weird behaviors? Or will I be able to just kind of like narrow down the functions that are definitely not involved here? That's what I'm hoping. Why are you taking so long to... Okay, yeah, fine. Also, let me apply this while it's on my mind to do so. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Expected that to... Oh. Right, it's effect... Ooh. So, okay, that there in the end isn't good, but in theory, a tightrope won't be, like, in midair. Like, it'll be on the edge of a wall, so, like, that's less of a concern than it looks. It's the waving... Something with the waving that's making that happen. That makes sense. But also, why? Move along tightrope. That, you know, if we're not pressing buttons and things are going to be happening. Unless... No, I don't think there'd be something about, like, dead zone, like, input. I don't think. Yeah, it's probably in here, but it was good to, like, narrow down that it is where I think... Like, the problem is being caused by what I think is causing the problem. If I'm spending hours and hours debugging all this and then find out, like, oh, it actually was something down here that I would have found in a couple seconds if I just turned, you know, disabled that function. Just get to narrow down, yeah, problems. Anyways, okay, so... Direction, starting point, relative position. To distance, blerg. Haha. So, presented across. Okay, yes. These do things and stuff and things. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just keep commenting out large chunks of code that affect things that don't break the tightrope entirely to narrow down, like, it's this bit of code that if I comment it versus it being there, it, you know, is working or not working, right? That's gonna be the, so I don't have to like search through every single line of what everything is doing and, you know, in the wrong places. If I can just quickly find like, it's this chunk of code, I can more so understand that bit directly and yada yada. Well, actually, okay, but first thing I kind of want to do with that is, do I set, I believe we did a little bit of this last stream. I don't remember where this went exactly, but I believe I remember everything in here that is like, you know, messing with some of these numbers based on a sine wave. I believe I started with just like commenting out all of this so it never changes, so that the tightrope itself is kind of static. And then did the bug still happen? I don't remember. Let's find out. Yeah. It does. That, well, there is still, yeah, a bit of this bending, but it's not, so it's not like idly swaying as it was, but it is, so just, okay, that's not enough, which kind of makes sense. If I never move this anchor, that's sort of deciding where like the middle, where the player is relative to the tightrope, that affects how much it dips based on how close that is to the center of the tightrope. Now I think the tightrope shouldn't move. No, that's it's a manual thing. Okay, fun. Or it's a visual thing is the words I was going for. Interesting. If I don't change this, like, Y part of this, and I don't remember what, these lines here is kind of not how this should be. I'm gonna just comment out that as well. I thought that those, like, uncommenting the sine wave stuff was going to be enough to get it to not happen, and then I'd be narrowing down just that chunk of stuff, but... Ooh, you hate that. Okay, that's like the point where it's like, oh, it's too much that's kind of commented out that it's, like, not working as it should. If I just do this... Don't adjust the Y position at all. Or, like, don't have this extra adjusting of the Y. Okay, now it's going along this. And... Huh. There's still some movement happening where it's, like, going up. Why? So, my theory is the stick to tightrope part, this part. It deciding, like, okay, where should the player be relative to how far along the tightrope that they are? It's not, like, because the tightrope's on an angle, it's not getting the correct position of where it should be snapping to on the tightrope. Like, the distance that how far along the tightrope it thinks that it is wrong. What I'm just curious of, I thought, like, I'm pretty sure, can I find this quickly? I was pretty sure that, our original, like, demo of how this game started has a tightrope on an angle that doesn't have this problem. Which is why I don't think I'm going to, like, completely rewrite a large chunk of this to get this to work. I think, unless there's something I'm seriously misunderstanding here. I kind of just want to confirm this, though, so I'm quickly looking for if I can quickly find... I know I have around somewhere. Yeah, here you are. The original, the one, the only. Is this going to be loud? I'm going to hope it won't be. Brace your ears. Original demo thing of the Handyman with Unicycle. Is this going to be loud? It's going to have... Actually, can I... Ooh, oh, I don't even have a... Yeah. Wow, look at all that funky UI. Look at that leaning. Remember when the leaning existed and it was cool? It'll be super cool when the leaning exists again. Also, the scale of all this is so very off. This player is like... it's like 6 meters tall or something like that. It is like, you know, a lot, which... I mean, the scale, how much the scale matters, relative, whatever.
It's totally
but the like having it be a more proper scale made other parts of stuff with physics better. Anyway, not important. Anyways, from this over here to this test level, Wow, look at this. There you are. And yeah, I knew that I had that there. Tightrope that's on its side. I'm not crazy. This works if I stand still. I don't, like, weirdly go back down it. I do! Oh, that changes a lot of things. I guess this one's not on that much of an angle. I guess it's not unusual. Ooh. Interesting. Well, this feels like it's going down. It's not like it kind of makes sense. Like, I get it in that, like, oh, or I mean, it looks like it could be natural. Like, oh, hey, gravity is pulling me downwards. That's not what's actually happening in the code, which is why it concerns me. That if I wanted this to be a thing that happens, I would want it to be something more intentionally done in the code, rather than this some like mystery. It's not a bug, it's a feature kind of a thing. Music is fire. Haha. There's a random royalty-free. Oh wait, which music? There's two music things happening right now, right? There's the music of this game combined with the background music of whatever's playing. Oh god, it is all competing with each other. Yeah, this royalty-free music that we found when we were working on this, when I submitted for the school project. And some random music from Sonic Lost World is playing from the stream background music. God, I forgot that. You're our new handyman, Handy Harold Henderson. I forgot that this is what I did with my voice. This was made. I've said this before. I'll say it again. This entire demo test level thing, this one specifically, not the other one. This tutorial thing was made in a 24-hour period, and that's planning and actually making it, and voicing these random, writing and voicing these random lines, and pitch shifting them to not sound exactly like me. And yeah, it turned out as it did. It's something. I'm hoping that whenever we're doing the actual game, will be significantly better. Anyway, see, like, look at this. Actual game. Actual level design, kind of. I look forward to that existing in the modern game and it not being, just a sheet of random gameplay elements because they're all still in construction. We'll get there, slowly but surely. Also, this is a very linear level. My first real level is gonna be more of an open world. I don't know if it's the right term to use, but a more open environment that's not exactly linear. I think that so as I said before, I'll say it again, I'm planning a 3-level demo. Level 2 is the first one I want to make because reasons. Level 1 I think will be more linear like this, but not as explaining every individual level mechanic. The tutorial part of this is way more interesting. The voiceover still goes when it's paused, whatever. What was I saying? This is a bad tutorial. It over-explains everything because I was submitting this for a school project and I wanted to point out, hey, I coded this. Hey, I coded that thing. Hey, I coded this thing. So that's why it's more like, here's a game mechanic, here's a game mechanic, here's a mechanic. It was more, I thought that was better for the project itself, and I guess it was. I got 100% on it, so yeah. And obviously that didn't look too good visually because it was made in so short of a time span. But yeah, anyways, we'll get to that. We'll get back to that. Get back to that level of game being actually a game. Looking forward to that. Anywho, what was I doing? So, okay, the discovery that Tightrope has the same issue. I was very sure that it didn't. That changes a lot of things. It almost is gonna make this harder. I thought this was gonna be like, oh, just some random mystery bug. You know, replace a plus for a minus, add a +1 somewhere, and it would fix itself. The fact that it was happening back then, means that it's more than that. Although it gives me a better idea for a solution to it. Is just that right now, how the whole stuff with the tightrope, the play on the tightrope decide where, how it decides where it is based on, like, you know, looking at like the Y. You know, it assumes the tightrope is flat, so as soon as you angle the tightrope going up and down, you go down, you're now closer to the beginning of the tightrope, but you go up, you're now closer to the end of the tightrope, right? So the stuff that decides how far along the tightrope we are should be kind of like projected along the angle of the tightrope itself in a way that's not going to break things terribly. So that's the plan, I guess. Now, how am I going to implement said plan? Okay, first I got to figure out So what actually? Oh god, I use dot product stuff here. Oh no! All right. This relative distance. What are? Okay. This is the direction of the tightrope itself. This is the starting position of like one side of the tightrope. This is, yeah, relative or offset, like where the player is relative to the starting point. That makes sense. I get this dot product. Getting a dot product of their offset and then the direction along the thing. Oh, this is the problem, right? Kind of. If I remember how dot products work successfully, let's say this is the tightrope, and the player is, because of the going up and down slightly thing, the player is here. This is gonna be hard to, like, do exactly, but whatever. You know, the offset of the player looks like this. Pretend that that's a straight line. And the, you know, if I want to project that to, like, get the relative distance, like, pretending that we're along this tightrope, where that would be. Getting the dot product, is that just kind of going like, well, that's what it should be doing. It's like, oh, you know, flatten this against here, and that's what it is. Unless it's more flattening it again, you know, in a way that's not being exactly what it should be when we're moving up and down. Should it just, if I want to sway up and down, rather than doing a dot product, should I just, rather than projecting it like this, which was what I think it's doing, it might actually be better if it just only goes up or down. That way it can have a sine wave going up and down, and that should be fine. I was gonna make the sine wave go on an angle, but that might look weird on a really slanted tightrope where it would, like, do this. Which might look fine for the idle, going back and forth the tightrope. But the player being on the tightrope should go purely up and down. Going like this, I think, would look super weird. I think that this will be more likely to just be better. Less that I have to change down here with how it handles all the sine wave stuff. Messing with this Y position, I think. Okay, so if I have a relative distance that is blarg to blarg. How would I get, hold on, or would I just, there's definitely some, hold on. As he said, yeah, projecting it won't help because it'll, like, move, it'll move back. Hold on. I'm trying to think about the best way to do this and how to even communicate what I want to do, verbally. Oh, Fenberg! Hello, Karome. Hello. Optimize my decompiler a bit. Very cool. Yeah. Haven't streamed in a couple days. I'm now getting back to this and attempting to, yeah, fix some tightrope issues. Cut down on, 28 millisecond runtime. Cool. I don't remember what it was before, but I'll take your word that that's lower. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I basically want to, if I just got this as a position, I then effectively just want to mess with the Y until it's a point along the line. Or I can even just say the plane that the line would be on. Instead of looking at this line, pretending that it's a plane, and just move exclusively on the Y axis to get onto that plane. Surely that's a way I can communicate that idea to make it generic enough that I can probably just Google and find some quick, like, math formula to do. Or even just a mathf.bleh, some function that can kind of do this for me. Project on plane isn't what I'd want here, right? Project on plane is effectively just gonna do this, which is what it's currently doing, I believe. Oh, let me first just, dot product, I don't know, visualization. I just want to confirm that this, how I'm currently using this dot product is working how I think it is. Hold on. I'm not seeing what I'm, yeah, this. So, like, if this was the tightrope and it's like, oh, hey, our position is here, dot product is just this, like, shortest distance to the line, essentially. Which isn't what I want. I want to say, you know, straight line on the y-axis down, don't change the x at all. At least I think that's what I want. And I think that'll have the behavior that I want. So, like, I don't know. In the context of Unity, it's important to not have to manually write out, like, a dot product formula, having that, you know, vector dot exists and mathf dot whatever. How would I, like, it's not a projection. I mean, it's almost project, I don't know, line, or sorry, dot on, or point on plane only, and technically it's the, well, yeah, it's the line axis. Like, how would I communicate this idea? Oh, let me catch up with your messages. 78 milliseconds to 50 milliseconds. That's 28 milliseconds faster. Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds fantastic. Tomorrow I'm aiming for 40 milliseconds. I'm starting to get close to my personal optimization limit. Cool. I mean, yeah, like, good for a thing to run faster. I am definitely not at a point where I need to worry about optimizing the milliseconds to that degree. When we further optimize our, you know, the hub world thing, and how it dynamically loads levels, the better I can have that be faster, and also just spreading out the work over multiple frames in ways that are good, doesn't break things, then that's gonna be good. Yeah. Anywho. What is the... I believe that there might be a term for what it is I'm trying to find. I'm just not remembering what that would be exactly. It's not a projection necessarily. It kind of is. Or like, I don't know, something like point to plane, like, on one axis. I don't know. How would I best communicate this idea? And also hoping that, like, this feels like what I'm describing is a somewhat, I could say it's a common-ish problem. Maybe. I am getting to the point where I am bottlenecked by things that are essential to my algorithm, and the sheer, the bottlenecked by things that are essential to my algorithm, the sheer amount of computation. Yeah, it makes sense. Can't cut out everything. Some things are essential. Things like dynamic arrays that I can't really get rid of right now bottleneck me at the moment because I have no information on that prior. I tried caching as much as possible and did save a bit of time, but it's getting less and less. That's also a thing of, yeah, saving time at the beginning, or maybe slower at the beginning to pre-calculate a bunch of stuff, and cache a bunch of data, and then it speeding up later on, the whole thing. Yeah. Why can't I think of what this would be? Like, okay, I mean, if I can't figure this out, I'm gonna try to see, like, oh, is there some just other way I can think about the problem to do this slightly differently, or whatever. Because, okay, projecting on plane wouldn't work unless I just stored separately what the Y position would be if we didn't do any of the sort of sine wave stuff. No, that doesn't work so well if we are not on the tightrope and we enter the tightrope, like, somewhere in the middle. It has to kind of know where to put us in a way that can't necessarily, like, have stuff saved. Or has to look fine and natural or whatever. Why? This shouldn't... I feel like this shouldn't be that hard. I'm just blanking. Well... Wait, can I just say... Whoa, wait. If I have this plane, is there some function that I can, like, pass in an X and a Z position on that plane, give me what Y position that's referring to? And then that would be this Y position, and then just plug that into this. I don't work with planes that much. With, like, direct, like, you know, mess around with planes to this degree. So, I don't know. Let's get point on plane. It's like that projection point, like. And I want like the world coordinates essentially. Hold on, I'm getting lots of tabs already. I don't know, something like not having difficulties like describing the problem is not helping. Yes, at a certain point after, yes, but after a certain point, after running it thousands and thousands of times, then it starts to add up the time. Makes sense. Yeah. I'm testing it with a pretty large amount of data. Yeah, sounds like it. Right, because you're, like, decompiling, like, what, like, Pokemon code, right? So, like, going through all of that, every single line, makes sense. No, I don't want to know how to get the X, Y, Z position of a game object. That's not what I'm looking for. Just in the context of playing, like, surely this is a thing, right? Like, well, here, if I don't know, just plain dot, we're not gonna, wow. Just make a plane, whatever, pretend that we made one and defined one. If I do this, you're gonna have functions. Get side. What could that be? Is a point on the positive side of the plane? Oh, that's cool that that's a thing. I like that. That's cool. That's, yeah, it makes sense, I guess. Closest point on plane. See, this isn't good enough. This is essentially, like, I have a position. Getting the closest point of the plane isn't what I want. I want to be like, a point with this X and Z value, find where that would be on the plane, like, what, like, well, I guess that would be a whole, like, can I don't know, make the plane phase, okay, interesting, that's the thing. What other things have you got? Distance to point, any other things are gonna be helpful? Normal, yeah. Raycast. Can I raycast up into, like, from having the XYZ, like having the point of the relative position, or even just transfer dot position, like, of, you know, completely global, raycast that up, but a raycast feels so unnecessary. Set 3 points. Whoa. Sets a plane using 3 points that lie within it. Points go around clockwise as you work. What is why? All right. Oh, that's all. I was hoping for more. Oh no. I was thinking about buying all 4,708 functions. Jeez, that's a lot. That is indeed many. Which results to what? 122,000 lines of code. That is also a lot. A lot. Doing that in 50 milliseconds, I'd argue, is still pretty fast. Yeah, sounds like it to me. Alright, so far it seems the best option we got so far that's gonna maybe actually work would be a raycast, but that just seems so unnecessary. Is there a way I can, as I said a second ago, I'll say it again, a way I can kind of recontextualize the problem, be able to do different things? Last bottleneck that I might be able to, last bottleneck I might be able to optimize is the code to create the text. Yeah, you were optimizing stuff with fonts before, right? So if there's more that you could do there, then makes sense. I probably cache a little more data if I'm lucky. Yeah, it's all down to luck, ain't it? And do some memory copies. Fair enough. How... If I worked more with planes, did more plane-related math, I would know more with this. Is a perpendicular bisector, that's a thing, where that's a thing with triangles. It isn't even what I am. Well, not even much of a plane. I mean, it is a plane. But I can imagine this like 2D cross section where again I only care about. Okay. Well, here's a thing. If I do more, just pretending that it's more flat in 2D for a second, I essentially, in just XY land, I have an X position. Find out what is the corresponding Y position on that plane. How do I do anything with plane math? Just getting point is not good enough. Get distance to point, again, not what I need. A random point. What is... How can I do that? Now I'm just reading this around the other things. I'm careful, like, what I'm... If I just have on screen all of my Googling, Google does a nice fun thing of having... It'd be very easy to duck my location or whatever, so that's why I'm being careful to not do that. But being here in a Unity forum should be fine. Oh yeah, I'm missing more messages. Apologies. Hello. Oh, how'd that break already? Here, I'm gonna relaunch it. I need to look into that if occasionally it just breaks and stops getting chat input. I need to fix that. I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy. I haven't streamed the last couple days because I've been busy with other things, but there should be maybe hopefully working now. But also hello, up, hello, welcome. I meant more like the code that takes my analysis data and creates the string that makes up the source code. This step is the last step that takes quite a bit of time, but I didn't. Yeah, there it goes. I see that. This is the last step takes quite a bit of time that I also didn't try to make it fast initially. This spam as the string. Yeah, that makes sense. Hi and hello. Yeah, it works. Woo! Multiple functions. It's neato. We'll eventually add more to it, but it is pretty cool for now. So hello. If you're just getting here, I'm trying to solve what I thought would be not like a trivial problem, but just not that hard of a problem. But as being tricky. So, it's more because of my lack of knowledge with like planes, really. So we have this tightrope. Tightropes on flat ground work normally, totally fine. It's great. Tightrope on an angle like this has this issue. Wait, no. Where like when I stop moving, we kind of back up on it, which you could say like, oh hey, it looks fine because like gravity or whatever, but it's not what I want, and it's not supposed to be happening, and I would like it to not be happening. And I know why it's happening. At least I think I know. Which I could do all this and then discover that it's not working. Is that if this black line is pretending these are straight lines. The black line is the tightrope itself, and we say that the player is at the red. I want to take where the player is, like, after we do some, like... If the tightrope was perfectly straight, had no slack, then it would be fine, right? Then, let's say the player would be, here. Because the tightrope moves up and down, when the tightrope is here, it's then reprojecting where it thinks the player should be on the tightrope to here, because we're doing dot product stuff. I want it to take where the player is and then go straight up or down to find where it should be represented on the tightrope to calculate this, the relative position and its like relative distance. I thought like if I represented the tightrope as a plane, then this would be not that bad. But I don't work with planes enough, or haven't in like a while, even like since I made this tightrope code in the first place. I was hoping that there'd be some way of like, you know, pass in an X position, what is the corresponding Y position on the plane, or something like that. Like, surely that's a thing that exists, that I'm hoping not gonna do a bunch of manual, meticulous math for. I've seen that I could potentially do a raycast, but that just feels overly expensive when it shouldn't be, but I don't know. From my understanding, SD string doesn't always allocate memory, but it might in some cases where the compiler can't catch the pattern, and also if the string exceeds a certain size. Makes sense. I ideally want to avoid all heap memory from creating the text. Yes, that makes sense, yeah. Although I see all that turn in. Did it, wait, oh, it didn't break already, what? Wait, did it just not do? Normally when it breaks, it's like a while into it working. Oh, I think I broke. It should be able to accept long messages. Like that. I can put my own and double check if I do that. That worked. Well, okay, so it didn't completely stop accepting input. I don't know why the long message broke. I'm just scanning the message to see if there's anything I notice immediately that catches my eye as being a problem. It shouldn't, if you type like a couple, you know, Rubik's Cube commands and then nonsense, it should know to cut that out and just take the commands that actually, like one rotten egg does not spoil the whole thing. I believe, if I remember correctly, it sort of cuts out the bad one and uses the rest. I think. I could be wrong on that, actually, but we'll see. I'm not 100% sure. There. Oh, did it go? I wasn't looking. I think it did, maybe. Yes. Why this shouldn't be that hard. How planes. Linear algebra stuff. Yeah. Oh, hold on a second. Go ahead. Wait, did I? Am I looking at the same? Oh, I am looking at the same article twice on this screen and this screen. Yes, but I don't know if any of what I'm looking at is at all in the realm of anything. I don't know. Yeah, somehow. I don't know if anyone here happens to know enough about linear algebra to help me out here. Basically, I mean, this is a 3D plane, but I just simplifying the problem being a line, because it is the line that is the tightrope. If I have a line represented somehow, like a vector or whatever, and I have a point here, I just want to go, like, universally, only on the y-axis, up or down. It should work, you know, over up. Up or down, find the closest spot on the plane. Not the closest, the closest would be here, and that's not good. The closest here would be something like this. That's not good. I want to only go up or down. Linear algebra. Yeah. Or that was my plan. So I thought, like, surely that's a thing that just easily exists. That isn't, like, complicated. Hold on. Oh no, so this thing isn't even, yeah, that's not what I want. That's, could I make, like, do something with, like, intersection points or something? Take, like, the XZ, but then I wouldn't know the Y height that it needs to have. I took, like, the X plane, and yeah, I could project it. Like, of course that wouldn't work. It's funny sometimes how C# can look. Plane equals new plane. This isn't even code that's likely gonna stick around. I was trying to see if I go in plain dot, I could see what functions existed and if there'd be something that would help me out here. I can do the same with vector 3. Like this code is doing very little and is, yeah, anyway, by vector 3 dot, more functions that exist. Cross product ain't gonna help me. It gets the perpendicular vector to other vectors. Distance dot product. No. Equals what's exclude? Okay. I don't. Dang, I don't want to be stuck on this for too long. I don't love streams that are just me trying to Google stuff. that I do not understand. Especially when I'm looking at words here that I might not be, raise a vector onto another vector, regulate on plane. See, like... Wait, no, this wouldn't... No, this wouldn't do what I want it to, right? This would, effectively turn it... effectively kind of, like, rotate it so it'd be slightly higher. But that's not exactly going up or down. Why can't I undo? Ah, whatever. It's, I thought you said explode. Regularly not explode. Oh, yeah, don't you know about explode? No, there's some exclude. I don't know what that is or what that does. But I don't need to know because I don't think it's gonna help me out here. Do I just go down some route where I try to, like, save what it was last frame? But then when it moves, how would I know what it then needs to be? Updating that would be so painful. And I don't want to have the slack of the tightrope go, like, this on the angle. That would be the other solution, I think. But I think that'll look super weird and cause other issues. I effectively, okay, I can at least, I don't know, start writing what I'm wanting to have happen and then work that into, I mean, essentially, the thing that needs adjusting is this relative distance, and then, oh, I'm seeing that turning, wow, yep, that'd be the scramble, there it goes. Effectively, I calculate this relative distance, and then it just needs, like, extra adjusting. So I have this direction, and then this... Yeah, these are both vectors that represent offsets rather than pure position. And this is relative to... It's relative, it's not world coordinates, which is fine. Relative point here, so... So, like, this is wrong, kind of. On tightrope, if I start it equaling this, then I effectively need to take this guy and go dot y equals something. A thing that then makes it a point on the line that is... But, look, I mean, if I represented the tightrope with, like, a function, then it, like, a linear function, then it's just, like, y, you know, mx plus b kind of thing. That feels very incorrect and, like, not how the direction I would need to go down, I would think. Like, surely I'm not needing to calculate the angle of the thing. I mean, I have the vector that represents it, here. This is the direction of the tightrope. Basically, I mean, go along that direction, some amount until... Go along this direction enough until... we reach the, like, X and Z amount that this has, and then tell me what the Y is. Like, I can say that verbally, but I can't comprehend the code side of what that should be. I'm just very fuzzy in this area of, like, and I thought I could Google stuff and just immediately find what I was looking for. If I simplify it less from being a plane and more, like, a line. Something like, something like go along vector until X point or something. Get why? I don't know. And of course I'm seeing stuff with mouse things. That's not what I'm looking for. Why am I'm just, yeah, not at all seeing what I'm wanting to find. Maybe if I drop the Unity part of it and try to find like a pure math kind of, well then if I, well, Uh-huh. Welcome to the Googling stream, everybody. I thought, like, I mean, I said at the beginning, like, oh, this will be either something that's not that bad or it'll be something that's brutal. I was kind of right with the second one, but okay, I'm seeing, like, pure math, like, tan cosine stuff. I shouldn't be having to pull out trigonometry here, I would think. Like, what I'm trying to do doesn't seem like it should be that. Maybe I cave to doing a raycast. That feels so unnecessary, but maybe it's what I need to do. I don't want to raycast up and down. I guess it's very likely to always be down. And what does it look like? Oh wait, what does it look like right now? And what's the problem? Essentially, if actually, I can remove some of the lines that don't need to be there. If I have a line, this is a line in 3D, but I can communicate the idea in 2D good enough. Actually, you know what? Let's use one of these. That'd be perfect. If the if I have a point here, I'm gonna exaggerate how far. Usually it's gonna be like barely off, but I'm gonna exaggerate if I have a point here. Right now, whoops. Well. Okay, whatever, it gets to be blue. Right now my code is taking this and putting it on the line something like that, which was fine before, and it's fine for a flat line. It's not fine for what I want here. I want this to go straight up until it hits the line. Or it could technically be above and go straight down, but 90% of the time it's gonna be down. I effectively want to find where along this line has the same X position, like, give me what the new Y should be. Sort of. If we're talking pure math here, then the line would be represented by, like, a YX, or an MX plus, Y equals MX plus B kind of thing. Pass in the X, get the Y. But that's, like, I have a vector that represents, but, like, I guess I could calculate it manually. Which I could do, but it feels, like, unnecessary. Like, this is the kind of thing that shouldn't be that insanely unheard of. Like, there's built-in math functions for so many things. But not this. Hey, ramble about this. Double Western bacon cheeseburger. I don't know what makes it Western, but yeah, cheeseburgers be good, I guess. I am not the biggest fan of cheese, though, especially cheddar. Cheddar sucks. Mostly raw cheese. Raw cheese, most kinds, especially cheddar, not good. Though there's that. But bacon good, burger good, double good. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so... how am I going to figure this out? I was really banking on it being a simple... I think I need to get out of it right now, just searching, like, pure math stuff. That's, like, not helping, I think. Hey, ramble about this. Fine. Double Western bacon cheeseburger. Hold the cheese. Might as well just say hamburger at that point. But again, I ask, what makes it Western? Is it wearing a cowboy hat? Move 2D point along angle. That's not what I'm looking for, though. I don't know, like, like, I feel like right now it's just a communication issue, that I'm not describing my issue correctly. But I don't know what better lingo to be using. And I more want this on a plane, the vector 3, or not a plane, eventually would be good, I guess. Between two vectors, at a point, This is not, like, I'm seeing so many things that are not what I'm looking for. I don't need to normalize the vector. I don't need to normalize and multiply it by some distance that I don't know what that distance would be. I am mimicked. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Looking for intersection? Sort of. Like, well, yes. Actually, So like, yes, but not just a projection like here. I'm essentially wanting to be like, here's a line. It's actually a vector 3. Here's some point below the line. Move straight up. So essentially only adjust the X and the Z in 3D to be where it needs to be on the line. 90% of the time, this is going to be going straight up. There's the occasional time where it'll be above and need to go straight down. But the main thing is that it needs to be straight, not like this or this or this, right? Yeah, and just trying to figure out the best way to do that. That's not gonna be a manual linear algebra. I mean, I could do a bit of manual work. I don't need like a one function to do this for me necessarily, but even just, so I guess if I thought of it as an intersection between vector 3 dot up and, I mean, like, I could, like, yeah, like a vector 3 dot up and the line that is the, this guy. I'm unsure, though. Well, could I... I was thinking if I could take this direction, and this is going to be normalized, and I can't, like, multiply it by something to get it to be, like, longer than the line, but, like, oh, well, no. I was going to say, take the x of this, divide it by the x of this. Would that give me how far along I need to look, and then multiply that by no, because then am I on the right track with that? Maybe. What I might, if I can't figure this out in a couple of moments, I might move on from this and actually move to the next thing I said I wanted to do was the like underwater mode that the player can be in, like switching between that back and forth more elegantly. That I'm more confident I can do and have it not be this much of a big pain. I thought this was gonna be not easy, but not that bad. Vector 3. Unless, again, like, I'm framing the problem in this very specific way. So I thought that this would be a common math thing. It'd be easily Googleable. And seems like that's not the case. In the grander case of, like, what's actually going on here with getting this player to move along a tightrope, and a tightrope that's on an angle, I might be able to think about this differently and just find some different alternative way to think about it, and that's some different alternative solution. Okay, so... well, no, but then again, how would I do that? If I... Hold on. Like, do I just manually actually calculate, like, a sort of line function of what this line would be? You know, I have its starting position. I mean, I guess its vector, like, is... This direction is essentially a slope, right? Kind of. It's normalized. But it being relative, I don't actually care about the starting position. We can pretend that it's essentially, if it helps at all, I can if it helps at all, I can essentially pretend that it's going through the origin. So really, mx, no plus b needed. Why am I having trouble visualizing this? Jeez. Because I could. Over here. This is straight. I'm trying to, like, both think of it in terms of it just being a line, like 2D, just an X and a Y, but also think something that's going to extrapolate properly to having a Z as well if it's on some weird angle that's not even like a perfect 45 where they're equal, but some weird angle. And even, the case where it's pointing down like that, I'd also need to make sure that that's going to work properly. Taking this, we have this vector. Do I have the actual full length of how long it is? I mean, not that that matters, technically. I have its starting point, I have its direction. Its relative direction. I even have the relative position of the player by subtracting by the starting point. If I... yeah. So, direction.x, let me see some numbers here real quick by just like, just printing out, whoops, dis and, not that. And this guy. I just want to kind of... Well, I mean, okay, these are going to be the same right now, but I'm going to mess with it later in a second. You didn't print, excuse me? What? You could, like, not... I'm sorry? There you go, that's... Yep. Oh, sorry, no, it's not going to print until I'm actually on the tightrope. Yeah, because that code only runs when I'm on the tightrope. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So this thing, if I'm looking at some of these numbers here, we got, like, so randomly in the middle here. Well, the direction's always going to be the same. So, like, 0.97, 0.26, sure. Like a 2.15, negative 0. Wait, how are you negative? Wait a minute, how are you negative? Oh, because it's below... Did it actually get below the actual start point? I guess it did, huh? I mean, that might be a separate... Well, is that really an issue? I don't know, the swaying kind of works. When it's on an angle, might need to be adjusted. That's its own whole different thing. Okay, from here, last thing printed out was this. So that's slightly above, sure. But this Y should be up slightly. Let me just test something. So I am making some assumptions here on what I believe the issue is that's causing that sliding. If I add like a flat like 0.1 or something, blah. I just want to just double check that this is going to have the behavior. I think it will. I think, well, if I add enough, it'll start sort of sliding upwards, which could be the same problem in the other direction. No, wait, what? Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, no, you're not using that number. Never mind, so it's acting like a... Ha. This here. Shouldn't even really need this dot product necessarily then. It should just be more... It would then be this dot magnitude, really. Why is there a... Oh, I'm missing an E there. I was like, oh, I thought that looked funky. Okay, this, here, yeah. No, what? Wait a minute. I'm sorry? You're there now, you're moving up, but why are you not moving up always? Why does at this point it sort of evens out? That's funky. Because... if I just, I don't know, make that 0.2. Then will it kind of win out and go up? I guess at that point it kind of... This is going... It's dipping so much compared to the line itself. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Fine. Wait a minute. Can I just know exactly how much it's currently dipping? Wait a minute. I might be able to solve this problem entirely. It's not going to be just this directly, right? Well, this will be what it was last frame, which isn't great either, but it might be significantly better. No, but then this also goes through some lerping stuff. Well, no, then it sets it directly. I also don't remember why this line is necessary. This should not have 3, like, setting of this, but whatever, it's fine. That's old code that's like, it's working, so I'm not going to touch it too much. Okay, so what, effectively I gotta find, yeah, just how much I should be adding. The Y based on, wait, why was it needing to be, how was it going up before, and then the further it was going in, it was going back? Well, because the Y is further down, yeah. So... I mean, a plus equals isn't gonna, like, yeah, it being plus equals is not what that would need to be. Can I just try going, like, direction, if that was a slope, times, or, oh wait, wouldn't I just take the Y part of this direction? That'd be the sort of Y slope per unit. Direction dot Y times the distance out that the X is. So like, relative position dot X divided by direction dot X, something weird like that? I highly doubt this is gonna just immediately magically do everything I want it to do, but something around... But direction dot X could be 0 if it's like perfectly straight that way. Wait a minute. No way. Wait a minute, it's not sliding anymore. Oh my god, no way. No way that just kind of worked. I don't think it's gonna universally work, but holy... That's only because this happens to be facing the X direction, I believe. If I go and angle it right now. Actually, on an angle it might work. But if it's perfectly that way, then direction.x is going to be 0. And obviously that's going to have issues. It should... I think it will never be the case... Would I have turning tightropes? I don't think so, but I guess I shouldn't have code that, like, prevents that. So it calculating this every frame, I guess I'll allow to still be the case. Wow, so essentially the change in X or the change in Z, just be like, here's the change in one of the values. This thing isn't going to be pointing straight up, so that's fine. I almost need an if statement of like, if it's not equal to 0, then do some stuff. Let's go like float. Effectively, I want but slope. No. Sorry, no. I want like X. I'm taking the relative X position, dividing it by the direction. It's almost like a... what would I call that? Like, yeah. almost like a, like how many times over it has gone that direction. It's not exactly a distance, but I'm gonna, whatever. I'll go, like, whatever, I'm just gonna call it distance along line. That's not fully correct, but whatever. It's fine. Distance along line equals whatever. If this, I guess, like, equal to 0. No point having a not equal to then have the thing and an else. If it's equal to 0, then go something like, equals dis. I didn't put the rest in there. Yeah, equals blah. Ha, and then if it's equal to 0, then use the z-axis, and it should never be the case that they're both 0. I'm very confident. And then it should just be times this amount. And we will calculate this every time because there's the chance that the tightrope could be moving, and it's not that. And this will only be happening for the tightrope that we're on, so it's not like every tightrope in a given level will be doing this all the time. It's gonna be just the tightrope that we're on, that we're probably not gonna be on for that long. It's fine. I don't want to be too, you know, having the performance not be good, but like this I can live with. I also guess I'm fine to do this. Yeah. Okay. Let's double check that that's working. Please still be working the exact same. Ah, it's working. Wow, that took so unnecessarily long. But I don't care because we actually got there in the end. And you know what? I'm going to turn back on, not the balancing part just yet, but the, like, turning to actually face the tightrope. Turn on that for now. I guess I could also quickly just make more tightropes just to test it. Rather than just moving the one, just having, like, a couple. And I guess I need one in the direction. I need to test the case where the, like, start of the tightrope is the upper half, and like it leaning down is okay. I think it should be fine in theory. If it's not fine, I don't know if it'll be this code that we just fixed. It might be other parts with like the balancing or something that might have more of an issue. So, you know, let's do that. Yeah. Oh, actually, this facing the ground, like it going down is one thing. It going down to the front that it goes into the ground might be its own problem, but I'll worry about that at another point in time. And then I guess while we're on here, just grab you and put one on like an angle facing this way, and you know what, be steeper. Local. Something like that. All right. Are all these gonna work without issue? First of all, the normal one is fine. This one also looks fine. Cool. And this one. Ooh, that wasn't good. What was any of that? I kind of very much just assumed it would work. Why are we going just... What are you talking about? I must have... Did I not replace everything that was supposed to be replaced? If the direction of X is equal to 0, which it was, relative... B divided by direction of Z. Oh no. Is it like... Oh, it wasn't 0, but like 0.0001 or something weird like that? Just gotta double check. You can go into play mode, that'd be great. I think it's just... Are you just frozen? Could you not be? Oh no, that was it trying to... or here... Oh, and Visual Studios is freezing. Great. Lovely. So in the end, I didn't even end up using a built-in, you know, Unity, like math.f, whatever. Or I didn't have to make any planes. Didn't have to do any raycasting. So, you know, I guess that's good. Okay, I'm just... If you could come back, thank you. Okay, going to play mode. Wow, we're here. Do this. Hit your breakpoint in a second when we get over to it. So first of all, just seeing that this one, I'm sorry, I thought I specifically But I very specifically put a breakpoint that should be hit if I ever go on a tightrope. There you go. Yeah, so this one... Oh, this one has a little tiny bit of Z to it. Interesting. I mean, it's fine. That is allowed. If I move this for a minute, because I'm going to be on the tightrope, it's going to be going every frame. Get me back to Unity. Okay, so why? Oh, so my guess is going to be maybe that the X actually is having some value, but it's like so very, 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 very tiny. That if that is the case, then like having an actual like threshold might be the better thing. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. Okay, so is greater than 0.01 F. Should be good enough, I hope. Because again, it's never going to be like at a super steep angle. I mean, even if it was, then this should be... Oh, okay, that wasn't good enough. Really? If it's greater than... Oh, wait. Sorry. If it's less than that amount, use the other one. How about now, please? Just be kind to me. Yeah, would you look at that? Woo! Again, there's other things that can be cleaned up and improved with this, but it's better now than it was before, so I guess that's good. Oh, and the going down case was also working. Yes. Cool. Fantastic. Even that, actually, I thought this would have more problems with going through the floor. I think it's more of a luck that it happens not to be. But anyways, okay, apologies that this took too long, but we got there. Somehow, some way. Okay, so... And then even with that... I should renable balancing, that's a thing. I mean, I guess I can I could test that the balancing still works with this. I need to at some point make better UI like visuals for the balancing. I said that's a thing that's on my to-do list, to have like a Tony Hawk style, like any skateboarding game style, like when you're grinding on a rail, the like needle UI, I want that kind of thing in here for the balancing. But I think I'm gonna, I want to get to making an actual, actual test level sooner, and like, it's a nice thing to have, but having actual functional proper gameplay is maybe a little bit more higher priority. Because then seeing like, oh, how does this balance UI look in the context of a real level, in the context of a real tightrope? That is, however fast or slow it ends up being. Whether I find it, like in a real scenario, maybe I never have tightropes this short. Any tightrope is like usually very long, because that just works better for the gameplay or something. Or whether I decide the speed of going along tightropes, if it ends up being faster or slower or whatever. I believe there is still the issue of if I'm going really, really fast, we pick up some speed. Go. If we pick up a lot of speed, going on a tightrope kills all our momentum. Oh, well, no, okay, right, okay. Those tightropes are not in a great position to go at them at high speeds, but not a great, easy example to test, but, yeah, we go on a tightrope, it kills all our momentum. Other than when we land, we kind of resume having the momentum that we had, but, like, it shouldn't really be doing that. But going super wicked fast along a tightrope might have its own issues. That's why it might maybe be the case that I find that any tightrope should be minimum, like, super long, because speed. Although knowing the environment that's right before a tightrope and like whether it's going to be possible to, or realistic that the player be going lightning fast to get on this particular tightrope is a whole different thing. Anyways, though, to actually have this cross this gap, we're going to put this back down here. Yeah, there is the case over here. Actually, I'm curious if this is going to still have an issue. When you kind of go off the top of a tightrope very slowly, before it was sort of falling super weirdly. Does that happen to be fixed? I mean, it's not realistic that like a tightrope's gonna be hanging in midair like that. You're gonna go from tightrope to land, but just to test, wow, that problem seems like it might have actually fixed itself. That's awesome. Oh, there's a little bit of... Before it was happening like every time. If it's happening at all, it's happening like barely, so that's good. Oh, there we go. So, like, that's not good, obviously. Okay. Oh, we're slowly turning. So I have a guess at what might be causing this, and the fact that this is on an angle. Hold on. We're falling into the collider here, and it's trying to put us back, like, here, I guess, so we're just falling into it. That makes sense. I like that. So right now, even just this whole collider situation is just so I can loosely adjust any collider, or I can loosely adjust any tightrope for, I can make a short one, a long one, whatever, and I don't have to care about adjusting the colliders in this test environment. In a real environment, I'd like to think that I'll make colliders that actually more bend to how the tightrope actually is. When that's the case, there won't be this chunk here, so in theory that might be a problem that is fine. Should I put in like a temporary thing though? Like what? If it calculates, like if you're here and then it calculates, oh, your position on the tightrope should be here, and it's greater than the length of the tightrope, should that somehow not count? That's really hard to... It'd be tricky to actually do. And also, if we're going towards the tightrope and then hit this, that we wouldn't enter it necessarily. Like, that would have its own problems. I think this is a thing that I'm not going to worry about until we have a real level scenario. Because, again, this wouldn't happen in a real scenario. Yeah, anyway. Oh, I made a thing of new variables in my random counter thing. I think I did make some. How many did I make? I made some while I was testing. I don't know if I count that. I made this and I made this. So, bam, bam. I guess. I adjusted this. I didn't make it. And even then, this could, like... yeah, no, I'll keep it as its own thing. Anyway. Okay, cool. With that, I think we are okay to move on from the tightrope stuff for right now. The next thing that I wanted to do, that I'd like to think will not be much of a pain as this was... actually, first, before I forget, let me just apply... Oh, you don't have anything to apply? Well, underneath, you probably have... This does? Yes, there you are. And maybe some stuff on the camera too. Would you look at that? Yeah. Okay, so next thing I'd like to do is, in this test environment here, set up an actual underwater thing of some kind. As I said, near the end of the stream, we do have an underwater mode that exists that looks like this. Pretend that we're underwater rather than just flying through the air, and that's that. It essentially takes... It copies a lot with the code that runs when we're in midair, which if I just... gain some speed, kind of, and yeah, that's interesting that you launched off at that angle, but there we go, like that. It kind of copies a lot of the same code, but in the underwater one, you can turn around a lot more and you move a lot slower. So, but right now, the only way to go into this underwater state is by me specifically setting it, and I can't do that, like, even during gameplay. I have to set it, like, in the editor, like, before going into play mode. So I'd like to just quickly, let's just set up like some random body of water over here that we can go underwater in. And I'd like actually two things with this. I'm gonna take this ramp and I guess we'll put it over here. Where the underwater thing is doesn't really matter, but we'll just kind of go, yeah. Having this sort of ramp to sort of go up something to then fall into the body of water. I don't have like any kind of water model thing. We're just gonna kind of a ramp cube over here. We're going to take that, move it out here, and then we're going to give it some transparent blue material, and that's going to be good enough for us. Why did I didn't need to copy that. I could have just made a cube, but whatever. It's fine. So if this is our fake body of water, or very real body of water, what do you mean? I guess I just kind of get slightly better. And I want it to be like falling into it, so... This will also be a test of like, oh, does our current like speed of swimming, is that fine for this hypothetically? Or like, do I need really big bodies of water to be able to actually swim in? I'm also gonna make it, you know, a lot wider just so we have more space to go around. Okay, so this thing, we're gonna call it water. And I am not spending any time making some like fancy water shader right now. We are just making it a transparent blue, and that's going to be good enough for us. We're just going to copy that, call this like water, and oh wait, did I already wait? I'll be honest, I don't remember making this, but wow, look at that water. What is this from? I don't want to just change. This is going to be something that was used in some other testing scene. I don't remember ever using. Oh no, I know. I know where this is used. If I recall, it's just used in old demo. Level 1. It surrounds the level. Is that? Yeah, I believe it's literally just this. Water. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, not over there, over here. So I want to preserve those old scenes just to be able to look at them. I don't want to mess with that right now, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, duplicate this and go, what do I want to call it? Water 2? Go on a transparent or something, and then go bleh. Oh, did I miss? Nope, there you go, okay. Wow. In a second, there we go, yep. And just be transparent. I don't know how transparent it'll need to be to, like, tell that it's kind of water of, like, hey, blue tint around the screen, but also that you can see. Oh, wait, right, it's not going to... Right, you're not gonna... can I... have to do both? That's good enough for now. That's fine enough for now. In theory, when we're underwater, it might have extra, like, camera effects and stuff like that, too. Not important right now. Any chance that these do anything that I'd want them to do? I notice that the water is slightly above the floor. Let me not have that. I could just kind of... you could just sort of... Why can't I click you? It's fine. Alright. Anyways, that happened. Okay, so we're gonna tag this. Do I have a... do I want to have the tag of water or the layer of water? It shouldn't have the layer of environment because the camera, anything that's on the environment layer, it will like zoom in with, I think. I guess this won't have it'll have a trigger collider along the whole thing. So there's that. I guess, yeah, this is going to have the tag of water. Water. And maybe we'll be able to like swim in other liquids that aren't necessarily water, but whatever, it's fine. Okay, so we have that. I don't think the water itself will need to have any code on it. It's just gonna be the player just needs to be able to like, hey, I touched this thing that has this trigger, enter swimming mode. So let's see, we have, don't want player underwater to control that. This player underwater thing is supposed to be the code that like when we're in the underwater state, it handles the moving that happens when we're underwater. I can, I'll try to go up, not public, just an on-trigger enter, really, right? So, void on-trigger enter, whoa, don't need all that. Then just a simple, if other dot, give, can I just go come here tag immediately? Yep. Water. If it be water, indeed, then our, we already have some of this set up from before. We have like player like state controller, or what did I call you again? Players, yeah, player state controller. Dot try change state into player states dot underwater. It's called try change state because it handles some stuff that's like, oh, we're already in this state, then like don't, and stuff like that. Okay, then we're having on trigger exit that then just leaves the water. If we left the collider of a thing that's called water, then try change state into, should I assume midair? I think it's gonna be like very, very common that we'd leave water to being like flying through midair, or we just came out and then would land. But if we did go from being out of water straight into ground, it would, in one frame, the midair code would like start running the ground check stuff that would then tell us that we're on ground. So I think this is fine. I hope. Okay, so yep. One issue here, like, kind of, is that, well, like, I'm about to say it's like something that maybe says that we're in water mode, that, like, if we touch something that said that, if we touch an underwater thing and we are, already swimming, then then don't duplicate, run this stuff. But that's not gonna be the, what am I trying to say? I'm not communicating this well. If we're already underwater, this doesn't need to run, but try change state will already be like, hey, we're already in the underwater state, so back off. My one worry here would be if I had two, what was meant to be like the same body of water, but just there's like two colliders. Then this exit code will run, and that wouldn't be good. So this almost makes me want to, how would I be able to easily enter or exit if we're somehow in the bounds of a different like body of water? I could store the collider of the last water that we entered, and enter or exit should like only make us exit water if we exited that collider specifically. That makes sense. No, if you're on the border of two colliders and you kind of went slightly over and then back without fully leaving the original collider, that probably wouldn't be good. I could have an on-trigger stay. I'm just trying to avoid that because that's a bit maybe unnecessary. Yeah, we're gonna do an on-trigger stay, I think. It's just less likely to go wrong going between colliders, I think. And it's not really wasting that much performance of the rare times when we happen to be in water, I suppose. Okay, change state. Well... no, whatever. Anyway. Okay, okay, so what am I doing then? In here, change state is gonna be this. Actually change the state. When we switch to the underwater state, is this already kind of handled? It, turn off the ground model, turn on the air model. This is kind of temporary animation-y stuff. I just have, like, 2 models of the character when eventually it'll be an actual animation thing. This switch underwater thing, I don't know if this does anything right now. It does. That's a surprise. Do you need to do anything that's, like, in your start stuff? No, maybe not. That might be it. Possibly. Let me just move the player over. Let's kind of go blah. And blah. Yep. And turn you around. Okay. Wow. All right, let's see. Will this work? First try. Place your bets. Oh my. Not exactly. Oh, right. The like override stuff that happens with like from the mouse. If I go into play mode and don't touch the mouse at all. Actually, wait, no, it won't be fine, will it? No, okay, I know why that's happening, and I think I have an easy fix for it, but as a temporary thing, where's the camera? Or no, it's like player camera follow. But, okay, well, first of all, just to tell her, like, hey, the player part of it seemed like it was working totally fine. That's fantastic. It's just an issue with the camera that I think I know what it is directly. Player camera, not any, oh yeah, and player camera follow. This is all the monstrosity of the player camera. It's a lot because it does different things depending on if it's like we're on the surface or on a tightrope or in midair or underwater, but this is the code that I actually care about. Changing this without messing up the underwater code is gonna be a slight issue, but should be okay maybe. I do have... Wait, this doesn't... Oh, this doesn't run in midair. Right, yes, okay. Okay, actually, I'm less sure on why the thing that I thought that... when we switch to underwater mode, this camera horizontal angle and camera vertical angle would both just need to be set to 0. Let me just, as a test, just kind of do a quick little bit thing of, whoop. If we're in underwater mode specifically, then just hard set both to 0 for a minute so I can test if that's what the issue is. Or if it's somehow actually something else. So let's do this. It'll hard set in 1 frame. Wow, look at that. Oh, wait, did it? That almost looked too smooth. Yeah, no, it is being, there's a hard cut there. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool, but we are kind of, like we can kind of go like a dolphin. Woo. I don't know what the speed of the player should be necessarily. Like, if underwater, you should be a lot faster than this. I'm uncertain of. I think that's going to wait until a real level scenario. This also isn't fantastic. I said before that I like the idea of this sort of underwater thing being more like you're kind of going along like a propeller kind of sort of thing. I would like in anime, like this actually has better polished animations and whatnot. It'd be cool if the wheel of the unicycle turned sideways and became just like a propeller thing propelling you forward. That would be the dream. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but I don't know the best fix for it. Is that if I'm holding up against the top of the water, it does all of this. Because as soon as we hit being in midair, then gravity is pulling us back down, which, like, I get, but also don't have an easy fix for. Also, at being at the surface of the water, I see that, like, we have to, like, really leave the water for it to properly, like, you know, say that we're out of it. I mean, I could have the collider on the water not perfectly match, you know, the visual part of it. That would help, in theory. I could also, I don't know if I'd want to make like a separate, like, on the surface of water kind of mode that has like normal swimming, but then you go underwater and it becomes like this. That could be a thing I'm more unsure of. What I could do is, I like the idea if you go up to the surface, you kind of launch out of the water than that. I could have some kind of thing of when you go from being, when you switch to the air state, give more of like a boost. Do like a one quick like, add force. Be kind of cool. You know what? Saying that, let's try it. I don't know if it'll work super well, but let's find out. This is move forward here. So on for your exit, just have like try to change states. Maybe have it happen beforehand. Times forward speed. Do I don't know. I might regret this, but do force mode dot impulse. Have it be more explosion-y. It might be too much. Let's find out. Are there? I still gotta fix the actual the camera issue. I more just put some duct tape over it. Oh, well, we launched. That's for sure. So this should not use that forward speed. If I want it to be, well, let me just see what happens if I take that back real quick and let it do its normal thing. But just one extra frame of having that force. I almost think that then it won't be enough. I mean... No. I mean, it shouldn't be like a massive launch, but I like the idea of it being a little bit more like shooting out of the water forcefully. Forward speed, or let's go like, I don't know, exit launch force equals 2, and I'm gonna put this on the bottom because it's more conditional. And in that direction times that being an impulse and not being 10. Let's see what that does. How high this would want to be is also gonna... It's gonna matter how fast the swimming speed even is to begin with. That looks pretty good. If I go along the surface, it's still gonna do that. Although this would probably look less jarring if the camera thing didn't snap. If I do this, then yeah, that... It doesn't look like... I almost want to raise it up a little bit more. It's almost too smooth and less of a launch. Oh, that's interesting. That's a separate thing. Okay. Yeah. Going from being on the ground to... I mean, in theory, this should never happen. Going, like, swinging... Or going forward into... Oh, just notice that those are slightly apart. That's fine, I guess. Moving into a source of water, like, I don't think water's gonna be like that. You know, you'd have, like, a pool type thing that you'd fall into. We're gonna have water... You know, obey the laws of physics, I think. I mean, it'd be nice if just at the very least this didn't... I mean, like, if I go at it slow, it kind of glitches, but going at it fast seems kind of fine. I mean, this is a potential issue. I don't know if I should, like... So this is happening because the collider is slightly inside the pool. I don't know if I just want to... I don't know if I just want to make the collider for a body of water a little bit smaller than the water actually is, or if I want to do some extra complicated, like, see if, do some raycasts or overlap spheres or whatever, and see that the entire player is in the body of water, or just don't do the water mode stuff. I'm not sure, maybe. In terms of what happens when, like, we slam against a surface while being underwater, I have some ideas of how I can make that look better. If instead of just hitting off of it, actually hitting at an angle is fine enough, but hitting something straight on, I kind of turn away. If it did a more proper, like, bounce, like we hit it and kind of, like, jump off of whatever surface we hit in a more intentional way, that might look more fine. Possibly. I can also, when I change states, I can see what the old state was, I think. Don't I have a thing for that? That's a new state. Where, oh, I guess I have the current state. I can test that directly. I could have a thing that's like, if the previous state was on ground, then, like, launch us up a little bit. But I don't know, if we were on ground and then there was water, like, above us in some weird way. I don't know. I think this is a realistic scenario. This is not so much, and I think I'm gonna maybe wait until it comes up in a real scenario and then figure it out more in the moment there. I just wanted to be able to do this in some kind of sense and have it worked, and, you know, ta-da, we can. And that's good and all. So the last thing I want to fix with this is the camera thing that I did not actually fix. So, where is that? There, why am I not seeing camera player follow? There you are. Unpin those. Okay, so these, if this is that, so why does this not work? This thing that's, like, subtracting them and all that, why is that doing nothing? Correction speed. Supposed to slowly turn the camera to follow the velocity of whatever we're at. So what gives? If I take that out, I could have, like, in here, it's like, oh, whatever they are, they lurk towards 0, but that's essentially what these things are supposed to do. So let's find out what they're actually doing. See, wait, oh, well, yeah, it is turn, well, what, no, hold on. If I go at an angle, and then, yeah, this. Why is this allowed to happen right now? When the midair camera solves it, like, it doesn't do that. This is the camera itself. Unless, like, this isn't the problem, it's some other thing somewhere else. There's all this camera overridden stuff. Oh, does the player think it's more overridden, more or less than when it's in midair? Yeah, this camera override stuff, definitely not there. Definitely not the cannon parts. This bit in update, if we're on the surface or tightrope or cannon, then those do things. That's not the same though. Okay, breakpoint, yep. This is currently, these numbers, they should be going towards 0. Right, the horizontal one is the one that's more obviously off. That amount times 5. So you supposedly want to change. So why is this fine in midair but not underwater when it's the same code? Let me see. Currently is -26. If I, go forward, next frame is. Are the decimals changing at all, or is it just not changing? -26.84. -26.5. Wait. That looks like it is changing then. What? Is it just going down super slowly for some reason? Or is that not the... But if it's not the... If this might not be the problem part, then why is it... Why does it work properly in the mid-air version? It is slowly going behind. It's just doing it super slowly. Horizontal correction speed. But you're the same whether you're in midair or underwater. Let me have a look at the numbers again. Also, wait, if I wanted to see what those are changing to, the numbers are literally, they're there. Let me just, because this is going to make this easier, kind of quickly do a little bit of... Okay, just kind of do all of that. You there. Oh, wait, I wanted to have you go up. Fine, I'll do it to myself. Giant body of water, so I don't have to worry about accidentally leaving it. Okay. You are going to be slowly straighten yourself out. Camera, I don't have all the time in the world. I wanted to see this. So it's slowly going down. But if I go underwater, then it's like immediate. I just want to see. I want to see it go down super duper fast. Yeah, but why? Is it? It's not just because the player is moving slower, is it? The player is moving slower, but not that much slower than if we were in midair. Hold on, let me just double check this. If I go in midair, is it just because of the speed? That actually could be it, now that I think about it. It didn't feel faster. Whatever. Okay, I guess like times horizontal correction speed. How do I want to? If underwater, some other variable, but I'm trying to do it more elegantly. So like, float underwater, extra speed. I don't know. Equals. Is this true? Yeah, that kind of. Do you want to add on to it or have it be an extra multiplier? I kind of want it to be a multiplier, so have it be 1 or, let's say, 5. 5 might be way too much, but I just want to see that it's doing it. Okay. And this will also potentially be something that I need to adjust. Ooh, wait, you still feel super duper slow. What? I'm sorry? Take player's velocity, transform based on the camera. I think I need to actually see more of what that X value is spitting out. Okay. You could go any second now, that'd be great. You could be unfrozen, that would be fantastic. Okay, I'm just gonna... Why does it do that? I don't know, whatever. Anyway. Okay, so, I guess I made a new extra variable. There we go, that goes to 3. Random timer, or random counter, getting its work in. Okay, Visual Studios is being wonky yet again. If you could stop that. I haven't updated Visual Studios in a while. I don't know if there's a chance if I just did that would make it be less weird. But oh well. Okay, you could go back over here. Let's try that again. Get back to the having this be where it needs to be, but with this a lot. Yeah. Okay. Here. And again, the horizontal angle and vertical angle should be basically the same as far as like the solution works for one should work for the other, so I don't really need to be testing both individually. You're getting a DAT number. Let's kind of print this a couple. I was gonna say print this a couple times. In theory, this should be very constant, right? It's going down slightly, I guess. Basically what I thought. Actually, how are you going? Oh, because no, it's the relative velocity, so it makes sense. Okay. Come on, vertical, like, just kind of making it a lot. It is, the further it is, the faster it kind of goes in, which makes sense, but... get out of the water. Okay, yeah, I think we're airborne. Put this back. And then, yep, what are you now? -6? Oh, -6! It went from less than 1 to way more than 1. That makes sense. It doesn't feel like it's that much faster, though. But somehow it is. It's like about -7. And now it's falling, it's going to be going faster. Now it's 8 already, which, again, kind of makes sense, but also... Like, once we're in the free fall, I get that, but like the first few frames after it leaves does not feel like it's that fast. Maybe it is just that the underwater thing is just way slower than I'm giving it credit for. So, it was roughly 8 times as fast. Can't be enough. Put this to 10? Is that really what this needs? Oh, I realized I didn't put this on the vertical one. I guess. Okay. Sure. Maybe it was just a matter of needing the number higher. I think I just needed to see it. Doesn't feel like it's as fast as it should be. Wait, if the current state is equal to underwater, which it is, then 10, right? I put this to 100. This is doing stuff, right? Is that correct? Okay, now, yeah, that feels more what it should be. And in this case, I guess it, like, compared to the mid-air where I'm fine with it being a little bit slower to kind of wrap behind with the underwater, it should do it more immediately. Yeah, okay, maybe tone it down a little bit. So really, like, something like 80 is gonna be what this needs to be. But this is gonna have to change massively depending on if I at all change the underwater speed. But again, I'm gonna kind of wait for a real underwater thing to test that. Oh, that's fun. That's weird. Why is towards the screen not? I'm gonna hope that's fine. That's something I'm not gonna worry about right now because that's also like that's more because this weird wonky going from ground to being in this. That should be fine. I thought we dealt with this though. Is that something that's happening with the ground or like normal mid-air camera? If it's kind of like facing towards it like that, does it stay doing that? I thought that was a thing that we kind of had an issue with before and fixed. Possible not though. Yeah, it looked like it was turning around there. I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I think it's good enough that extra issues that it has or something where I want to wait on a kind of real scenario. I don't even know if our first real level will have this underwater mechanic because we kind of came up with it like after I'd done my initial wave of planning with it. Also, let me undo. I don't actually want that to be that massive. Yes. Okay. So I mean, yeah, water is working. I think. Cool. Let me actually apply all of these real quick. Maybe just. No, yep, you're fine. I didn't make any changes there. Fair enough. Cool. That's working. I just want to double check over in here. I don't think. So this is gonna be our first real level. This is all the writing I have to go through. This was some custom editor code that I whipped up ages ago that is helpful for planning stuff in this level. And like, yeah, it looks complicated, and it is, but it's not as complicated as it looks. But it is, but it's not. There are even some things that are close to each other are similar. Like there's some things kind of match, like if they're close to each other, like, well, actually not really. Well, yeah, like those kind of, sort of. Anyway, I don't think any of these, you can't exactly easily like control F through all these. I mean, I can see them here. I don't think any of these mention water in the way, I have this like some ice stuff here. I mean, I can. change stuff to have a water area if I wanted to. But I also don't have to use every single idea in every single level. I can space stuff out. This is level 2 of my proposed demo. Level 1 could have some water areas, or level 3 could. Not all 3 levels need that. I didn't necessarily anticipate the water thing being like a big mechanic that's everywhere. Necessarily, I mean, I don't know how frequently it'll be used, but it was something I wanted to make because the act of making it helped with conceptualizing how some mid-air stuff should work back when we were doing that. And it's just an extra, fun mechanic to have. That doesn't feel like it's not that crazy different controls, like fundamentally changes the game. I mean, it is like it's kind of like the mid-air code. You're sort of moving forward and you can turn. So it's cool for variety's sake, I guess. I don't know what the speed of it should be necessarily. I don't think hazards work in it, now that I think about that. Actually, I'm curious to find out. I'm going to assume... I don't know, actually. 2 things that I've just considered that I realize I haven't messed with. Hazards in this underwater thing, and hazards in midair, I'm not sure we've ever actually addressed, now that I think about it. So let me do that real quick, because that's mostly for in the midair thing. I don't think it will like break, because right now it does a little like spinning animation that I don't know if that will look correct. If I put a thing like there, maybe I can hit that. Because I'm closer to the water one, we'll test that first. What is this gonna do? Oh, that was a cool looking spin. I wasn't sure if it was going to spin in a way that looked totally wrong. Oh my god, that's fantastic. I love that. That looks so good with the water code. And in theory, that's how it should look on the mid-air code. Oh, that's beautiful. It could have spun like totally the wrong way, depending on how I set things up before. That is great. All right, okay, good. Had not tested that until now. Glad that it is okay. All right, up here, then if I run to this, I should see the same thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It, did that really kill our momentum? I guess it kind of did, which, sure. The effect that getting hit in midair has, getting hit by a more physical solid object that then, stops your momentum and has you drop, I think matters more, but just the act of, like, seeing that I was trying to hit from the side, because right now this thing, if we kind of go through it, don't really see it as much, but yeah, okay, that's working great. I was concerned that was going to be a big, the next big thing to have to get looking decent, but no, it's looking great right off the bat, so I'll gladly take that. Okay, yeah, how am I missing it? I'm trying to like slightly clip the side of it. Oh well, here, let me hit it directly, and I mean it was already working. I don't think I need to really test it again, but I'm gonna because I can. Yeah, it does that, and that steep drop off. I'm not 100% sure if that's because of the hazard itself or not. I guess I'd have to, well, if I test purposely missing it, let me just compare kind of, no, don't miss now. I am going to readdress how mid-air stuff works eventually. I'm just, yeah, I'm a little unsure. That look, yeah, okay, I think by missing it, I do think I got more distance than when I hit it. I do think that hitting it is killing my velocity a bit more in a way that it should, so like that's good. We've played around with when being like in midair how much control we give the player. You can like kind of angle a little bit, but like not that much. Before, when I had that you could like steer a lot in midair, kind of like the underwater thing, you could very easily, launch off something like this and just kind of turn 180 and like fly across the level in a way that wasn't great. And expecting the player to need to do that consistently. Like, you couldn't really land somewhere super consistently, and I didn't want that to necessarily be how that was. Having no, or very little mid-air control does mean, like, you launch at an angle, you're going in a predictable arc. Predictable, kind of, when you're going off, like, a wall like this. If I'm up above, if I'm up here looking down, I'm like, oh, I want to land on that thing. Aiming for that is harder unless you just kind of get used to the physics of like how much speed kind of equals how much distance. But still, yeah, I don't know if I might have more, might give more mid-air control potentially. Just, it's a pros and cons thing, and I think I need to see it in the context of a real-world level. Even just the move speed, like we've been over this before, everything with like the speed of the player, how much speed you gain going downhill, how much momentum you gain going in the same direction for a while, all the different public variables we've been making while doing all this player stuff. All of that will be, yeah, adjusted in the context of a real level, because it's one thing to look at all this stuff in the context of this glorified skate park of random ramps and loop-loops and whatnot, but I want to see more of that stuff in the context of there being hazards that you're dodging and weaving around, hazards of different kinds. The strategy element of like, oh, I'm here, I gotta get over there, and I gotta turn and go over this way and over that way, like navigating an area where you're maybe turning around a lot, and like going up to the rides and repairing them, like all of those game mechanics, those all coming together, and then seeing what variables should be of like, it could be the case that in this environment, I think the player should be fast because fast is fun, but then wanting to actually weave around hazards and not get hit by them and whatnot, I might find that it works way better for the gameplay if it's a little bit slower. Yeah, it's important things to figure out. Easier to figure out in a real level. Anyways, so yeah, that's the thing. Okay. One thing I noticed here is that our zoom code, we used to have a thing on, I thought we had a thing on like some old zoom code that like, if there was like a small object, it wouldn't necessarily always zoom. And right now it's kind of like the tip of the head touches, then it zooms. And that's a thing to potentially, you know, ways that could be cleaned up and made better or whatever. But again, it's not a super important bit of polish now that I'm thinking about saying it out loud. So I don't think we're going to worry about that too much right here, right now. What time is it? 9:47. Making good progress as far as like, the tightrope thing took a while, but we did get there. We didn't have to give up on it, so that's good. I noticed that the water here is having shadows. That's fine. Whatever. We have the underwater stuff going. The other little changes, little fixes we've been doing, like, that's pretty good. Yeah, I gotta decide what I want to do next. Like, am I at a point where I might... Like, I was planning that today we'd finish off a lot of these, like, small changes, and then next time we would perhaps start making test level. We kind of finished the things that I wanted to do faster than I expected to take like the whole stream or whatever. There's definitely a bunch of other little things I could do. There's endless things that I could do. I could start making a player model right here, right now. But also, no, that's not happening right now. There's so much more gameplay programming stuff that I want in place before I commit to making a super complicated Blender model and then figure out that like the proportions won't work because of some thing of like how high I need the like player collider to be and stuff like that. So stuff like that's gonna wait. Lots of different polish that could happen in terms of like, well, yeah, that stuff with the moving around, the leaning. Oh, one thing I can I real quick? One quick thing I might do that if it's only gonna take a couple of seconds, some code I can resurrect from the old, some of the old player stuff. Not this, not that yet. The old player had a thing where you could like pedal forwards or pedal backwards, kind of. I'm not gonna worry about that just yet. We have this counterspin, counter pedals. We had a bubble thing before, not you. This is the tightrope stuff. Find it, please. Find this function. Sometime today. Are you gonna... No. Okay, sometimes I find that this can fix it. I just close everything and then search again. I see spinning wheel. You're trying. You shouldn't be this slow, but okay. There, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so... yeah, take this, and I closed the player surface. Not selection, no. Bring me back to over here. We're in this guy. Okay, what I want to do is we got, like, some of this visual stuff. We can have more visual things for this, like, very slight, like, bobbling that happens when the player was moving. Like, that was the thing on the player before that was quick and easy and worked nicely enough, so that's why I'm bothering to bring it back. It was because I think I shouldn't have to really debug this. I think I'm just gonna get to paste the code and have it work, and just a tiny bit of extra polish. I would like the leaning to be there, because that would look awesome, but that's gonna, I think, cause a lot more issues, and just dealing with rotational stuff in general that I won't be able to just copy and paste. Oh, this uses this. This I can replace in this context with a player.rb.magnitude. Or sorry, player.velocity.magnitude. The shorthand thing I have in another script, it's fine, is greater than, basically, are we completely still, or are we moving, like, at all? And you know, make this, like, 1. Yes. I'm gonna have to set those variables, but okay. Okay, that's here. So, what would I have had these set in ye old days of old player demo stuff? I'm just gonna put 1s everywhere, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so I go into play mode. Oh god, yeah, that's not good. That's not how that should be happening. Oh no, what is too much? So it's these speed and amount. Yeah, amount is not. Okay, so like, no, it should be very subtle and like that, and just a very slight like. This is, I mean, I don't know if this will be a thing on a more polished player, and a more polished player, it'll be part of an idle animation to maybe bob up and down a bit or something like that, but for now, it's just a quick, easy, hey, look, there's just some amount of extra movement. I don't know if it should be that fast. And then, while moving, then it, changes, ever so slightly, to be slightly, I thought it was better to be, like, slightly more or slightly less. I've written like a 10 maybe, and slightly more bobbing while moving is, I think, a thing that I wanted. Whoa. Like, try something like this. It's more obvious than I would like it to be. Hold on, if this is like multiple of this, it might be fine. Not as if I'm moving at a single direction, I can kind of notice it. It is being more subtle than I would maybe like it to be, but if it's too obvious, if it's too noticeable, that has its own potential issues. Put this at 0.2. I don't know. And be like, yeah, I'm ready for action, ready to go do things. Make that double. I don't know, but it shouldn't be too much. So maybe like 5 and 10, maybe at 0.25 or something along those lines. How does this look? I think it goes too much now. Unsure, we'll go with that for now. 0.2, 10, or 0.02, 10, 0.02, 0.2, or, shoot. Sorry, it was 5 and 10 and 0.02 in both, I believe. Yeah, just like a tiny bit of extra polish for now. It's more for, like, while idle, I guess, is not as much of a noticeable thing while moving. I guess I should double check. It's gonna be happening while, like, in midair and stuff, so, I don't know, does that look fine? If it's subtle, it should look fine. Okay, that minor thing is, like, good to, I guess, have. While I'm here, just to save me trouble later on, let me just put in some better, having defaults here, so that later on, if we have this similar situation. And it did happen that these ended up being the same, but they're two different variables because they could have been different. And I'm still you know, slightly changing them, and they could still be different. I'm fine to close this. We don't need it no more. And the notepad I had over here when I was writing down some numbers, don't need that anymore. Cool. All right, another little thing. I would love to have the leaning, though. I don't think there's an easy way. Is there? So the old player leaned through, like, the physical, thing that is the player would lean. I'm thinking that in the how the player currently is, the way that the physics are, this, like, capsule and then, like, a sphere for the wheel, need to kind of stick to the floor in how it all currently is. Trying to lean those colliders will cause all mayhem. So what I kind of want to happen, which I'm hoping won't be a problem, is to, as we're moving to lean this, so rather than leaning like the parent game object that is the player, leaning this child thing that is the unicycle pivot, that does mean that the wheel goes through the floor slightly, and it also means that then the collider does not match the player. But if it's like only leaning a little bit, that I was hoping that maybe it would be fine, you can kind of get away with it. I am now thinking though that maybe in addition I actually do have to kind of move the player back. It's like, well, one is just having the wheel being actually on the ground, and then it does make then the player itself a little bit closer to the collider. I don't love this not matching though. Or shouldn't move on that axis. Should be more like, ooh, actually, well, maybe. Well, I guess like that, but then back down to the ground or something. I don't know. I think that I'll have to like look more for, yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is something I wait till after we do have more level stuff in place, possibly. It's just, as I said a second ago, the leaning the parent collider thing is way more risky now, way more concerning, way more likely to cause a lot more problems than it was before. But like, maybe I can get away with that. Maybe I can get away with this. Possibly. This does lean this. I mean, well, okay, could I have just the capsule collider on the child object and have it lean? Would that be okay, or would that cause me issues? I'm not sure. I don't know how much I want to test that. So again, the collider thing is one issue, then the programming of the actual leaning is a separate issue. But I do think that based on how the player is now, it's going to be the unicycle pivot that leans. I don't love the idea of having to change its position, but if it's necessary to not clip through the floor, it might be necessary. I might like maybe have like a short-term solution where I just rotate purely on one axis. Oh wait, do I only need to rotate the X actually, now that I think about it? Yeah, whatever way we're going is going to be just the X-axis. Oh, interesting. Does it look better to be leaning slightly in the direction that we're going? If it was done programmatically and like we lean more if we're going faster. And then, yeah, it would look nicer. Maybe I see if I can whip up something real quick to have a kind of lean. It's gonna be under my like visual stuff that's happening down here. Or have where are you a public function? What's the tightrope code calls it, I think. Whatever. Void lean. And then let's just have this call lean. Can I quickly do I have it? Yeah, unicycle pivot dot rotation dot x dot Euler angles dot x. So I want to really set that directly. In this case, I might be able to. Usually, you deal with quaternions when you're like, you know, rotating stuff that go around 360 degrees, whatever. But I'm specifically going like just angle between like 0 and 10 based on your velocity. That maybe this is a thing I can do. Vector 3 dot, or no. I can just do a quick like math f dot lerp between 0 and let's say 20 based on rb.velocity divided by the sort of highest velocity that would mean 20 degrees. Let's say 50 or something, just to put in a wild number. And your problem is, oh yeah, you can't just be set directly. Well, like, I mean, the others are 0, right? I can go, or really, I can go like rotation equals quaternion dot Euler. Oh. No, is that quaternion dot Euler on its own is a thing? Yep. Okay. Passing that as the x and then 0, 0. Yeah, good enough. Perhaps. This is something that will probably need to be a lot cleaner, but oh no. Local rotation is what needs to happen here. Haha. Okay. Yep. I don't know if I'd want it to have, like, better scaling, but for now... no, it needs to scale more faster, I think. 50's too high. If it's... Oh, I've just realized that that velocity includes going down hills and stuff, which am I fine with? Maybe? Like this, I feel like, I don't know. Well, unsure. We'll come back to. I need to see it with the collider stuff on. Am I fine with this? Like, this is kind of how it was before, right? I don't know. Oh, wait, I just realized that the leaning in midair might be having... leaning in midair... Yeah, it's leaning in midair in a way that it shouldn't be. I mean, if I just go... That for player surface, I go... If I go to the change state stuff... I was gonna do it, like, in the player midair thing, but in theory, if I just... Whenever we have just left, if instance.current player state is equal to on surface, then one frame correct the lean amount. It's fine. Well, correct with that, but don't I have like player dot? Don't I have this as a? I do. Interesting. Okay, cool. Sure. This. So goes in error, and that should correct it. I didn't see it correct itself. Excuse me? What's your problem? This code shouldn't be running while we're in midair, because that code, like the code that calls it, only should be running for in the player service state. If that wasn't the case, we'd be seeing a lot more problems. Also, I know that we're getting to the 20 really fast. Maybe I up the limit and then up the velocity thing. Maybe that'd be better for it to be more gradual or something. Already, like, the maximum lean feels like a lot. Maybe I up it from, like, 10 to 20 or something. So why are you 18? Going down, but not down fast enough. I don't know. You're not changing anymore. So you're not even capping it at 20. It looks like you're just staying as whatever you were before. Is it possible that it's like... Well, did it run the code that I'm hoping that it ran? Maybe it just didn't run it at all. That is possible. My next guess would be... I don't know. It's getting this rather than this. Put some breakpoints. Okay, put a breakpoint where it's supposed to be setting it to 0, and let me just launch off again. Yeah. Yep, it's running. Set to quaternion.identity. Oh, is it possible that, like... it's doing this and then somehow running one more frame of the ground code? I mean, it really should not do that. I believe it's not doing that. So it's doing this, the switch to midair, and like, cool. Which switch to midair can have its own thing to set it to... But that's not the issue, in theory. Like, this was set to return that identity, and somehow by next frame it got set to something else. Oh, the calculated rounds does that. Oh no. Right. So, if this calculated ground had decided that we're in midair, it shouldn't run this, right? So, like... I almost think that I should... I'm almost thinking I should maybe go like... This might look weird. It will look weird. Have a switch before this switch that, like, just goes... If we're on surface or midair, I believe you can represent that like this, right? Then... Calculate if on grounded. Well, I guess this... Okay, this could just be an if statement then, but still. And then go and call this afterwards. So, like, if doing this change states, then it will call the correct thing afterwards. Oh. Is that how that's supposed to be? Because it's a single thing, I kind of want to just put it in an if statement, frankly. If current player's state is equal to on or midair. Well, the copy will say wait, yeah. Well, what if I later on add like more states that need to do this check? Now I take it back. Maybe this might be better on the condition that more states might need this. It is kind of better to just add the extra case line, I guess. Okay. Sure. Wait, I didn't remove. Hold on, I wasn't done yet. I was not done. I was tempted to, like, put this after, but I don't know if that's going to cause me issues as well. I mean, if we're on a frame where we are off the ground, it should, you know, be doing this and then updating and then calling the correct thing immediately, rather than if this is after, that it's, like, till the next frame that it's doing the proper thing, I suppose. I think it's better like that. Okay, Wait, no, what do you mean? What do you mean you're still... What? Oh. It looked like it didn't update and then it did or something? Unsure. Hold on. Maybe it just took a frame or something. Yeah, I think it's updating, possibly. And then this will be good for, like, where was it? Doing this will be good for any state going out of on surface into anything else. We'll switch it, hypothetically. So I guess that's good. I will follow this up by taking lean, and I think I want to change this to like 20 or something for how fast until we get that angle. I don't know if I should increase it more for if we are going really fast, but leaning too much might look extra weird even if we are going super duper fast. Especially with the wheel going slightly through the floor. And the collapse potentially not matching a little bit. Shouldn't be too straight on. And it'll look better when the player itself has, you know, animations and stuff. But it, like, makes sense to lean in the direction you're going. Yeah. The player stuff, but when it was more physics-based, was a bit better before, in that it did kind of, like, lean and then move. But I do think this is better for being more snappy. And all the stuff that we get of the whole being sideways and upside down, it was some sacrifices that were a bit necessary, I think. But, I mean, we're not, like, fully done on everything being super polished. We might be able to... Oh, no. What the heck was that? Might be able to bring back some of that behavior that once existed as we polish things up. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Like right now, we got a very basic having the leaning exist in a very, very basic one-line kind of thing. Leaning currently, I guess, will not be a thing on Tightropes. I think I'm okay with that. I don't know, maybe that, like, how far you are leaning is easier to tell when you're, it's straight up, I guess. I look forward to having the leaning backwards, though. That'll make, like, that there look better. And right now, the lean is, it's 100% doing, like, a swivel thing. Which I don't know how I feel about, rather than going up and turn and down. But in theory, when we get the, like, leaning backwards thing, that will kind of fix that problem, sort of. Yeah. So a thing we potentially come back to, make better, but for now is good. I think. Was I okay with, like, the speed to get to the max lean? I think so. Okay. Yep. Sure. All right. So yeah, that's that. That seems to be working. One thing I would potentially make this better is if it, like, rather than being a linear thing, I wouldn't want to smooth step this. More the opposite of it being more like 0 to 5, it leans quite a bit immediately. But then, 5 to 20 leans slower or something. Don't know. I mean, I could also, like, as soon as there's any input, if there's any input at all, lean between 10 and 20 or something like that. No, I don't like the sudden snapping, I don't think. I think it's good enough. If I want to improve that more, it's a thing I can kind of come back to, I guess. Yeah. Okay, we got a bit of lean. Yeah. Woo. Is it too much, though? I think I'm going to increase this a little bit more. 30. As the velocity of max lean. I think just the little bit of lean that then slowly becomes more and more of a lean. Yeah, I think I like that a little bit more. I think in its current state, I like it being more subtle, but existing at all, yeah. Makes that swivel less obvious. Okay, cool. I am happy with that. So, with that, before I forget, let me just apply. And also, I'd like to, I don't technically need to, I'd like to apply, like, on the inner prefab, nested in a prefab thing. That's fine. Okay. Any of these that I have happened to... Oh, things in here that have not been applied. Don't mind if I do. Real quick, just a bit of cleaning up. Okay. Yep. I don't remember when I specifically updated a bunch of that Text Mesh Pro things, but oh well. Okay, this, yeah, everything's still the same. Nothing is horrendously broken. Cool. Yeah. Is this using a different font than it was in the intro thing, or the demo from before? I just want to check. I'm curious. When we looked at this earlier for reference, it is a bit of a different font. Yeah. I think I changed it because this was more readable and whatever. And this might still, it's likely to change again when the game has more polish and more of an art style that can reflect itself in the UI. The main thing, as I've said, I want, like, the brand that is the Carnival itself to be reflected in some of the visual, like, the UI stuff. Even just if we end up, shuffling around, like, what other buttons might even exist in the pause menu? Oh, well, technically there's 5. This scene does not reflect that. If I go over to back to an actual level, over, not there either. Over here, bah. Over here, we have resume start options, back to hub, quit game. But then when we're in the hub world state, then restart doesn't mean anything, and back to hub won't be a thing in the hub world, obviously. Yeah. How's this? Is it still functional? We had the kind of collab thing I was making. that I have not looked at in a while. Wow, clouds, sort of. Oh, okay, this a thing that bugs me ever so slightly enough that I want to bother actually fixing it. Where was it? Over, over here, test level B, I moved the how far the hub world is away from the level. I accidentally moved it, like, way further than it should be, I think. I don't think the objective stuff is functional in this scene, but that's okay. This was more to just have another thing to load into, to test the hub world loading into stuff. All the stuff over here is still functional, yeah. Found it? That's a comment from somewhere. That was when I was testing saving loading stuff, I guess. I don't, yeah. Meant to have gotten rid of that. Oh well. The we going away, yeah. This will be better to test when we have a, more of a level in the distance to see us, like, flying away from that isn't just suspended over nothing. Press my button for low frame rate. It's fine. Okay, back to this one just to kind of see. Ooh. Obviously, as I've said before many times, that has more to be improved, made more polished, But it's a process. What the heck was that? No way. No way. Was that we hit the kill plane while mid-cannon? Oh no. Okay, we're gonna quickly fix that up. A little bit ago, let's see here. The environment that is the hub world, I took its kill floor and made it a lot bigger so you can't fall off of it so easily. And I think the cannon is intersecting with it. 2 solutions. 1, I make the kill plane smaller. Thing 2, though, that I'd rather do, I'd rather the kill plane be massive so you can't accidentally fall into the level by any other means than the cannon. But while you're in the cannon, you should not be able to interact with the kill plane. Now, I could make it a universal thing that while you're in the cannon state, you physically can't, like, the respawn code won't trigger at all. Or I could specifically, when you're interacting with this specific cannon, it turns off this specific kill plane. Which one I'd rather do? I think I would rather do it more cleanly. If you're in a cannon, if you're in, like, the arced cannon state, you should never trigger a respawn. Or, like, hazard, really. Right? Hazard might be an exception. If there's something that can knock you out of the cannon state, that could be something, but, no, I think, well, I have disabled player, but I guess the respawn... Allow respawn... Wow, okay, I already set this up, but for a different reason. There's a different thing that, like, does this, a disabled player that allows, or that doesn't allow respawns. Alright, wow, okay, can it please be just that easy? With just code oh, no! Whoa, okay. Hold on, I really thought it was gonna be that easy. Allow respawns. Why? I changed the right things, right? Cannon stages player. I did properly set up that when disable respawning. This disable respawn equals true. I guess either this is getting enabled somewhere. Oh no! I know what it is. This right. This is the actual launch. I re-enable the player to have it be the player be enabled but in the cannon state. So I'm just deciding what I don't want to immediately call disable player. I might need to more specifically manually go like player dot dis what's the line that I had over not there. Hold on here. What do you do? Player respawn dot disable respawning. I guess I just could call that directly. Yeah. I'm thinking either I do this here, or in the respawning code, I go like, if we're not in the canon state. But I think I'd rather do it here. It makes that code less complicated. I do need to make sure to re-enable it properly, though. Oh, wait, there's a second enable player? Oh, because there's enable player, but don't enable physics. Enable player and also enable physics. They're different, it's fine. This also happens to re-enable respawning if it wasn't already. Okay, so I guess that cleans that part cleans itself up. Please work. Good. Cool. Awesome. That should apply to... Will that apply to this cannon? I don't know. No, I don't think it will, and thus it should. So let's do that real quick. Level and spring. Okay. You guys over here, and this looks very similar, but it's different enough. Why is separated, not just... There is some amount of combined code. Okay. This, disable player, false. And then where you enable at the fire... Where do you do that? Or do you? Where is there an enable player? I thought that happens somewhere. Wait to... I guess that... No, that's here. Yep, okay, sure. And then, player respawn dot disable respawning. Sure, that does that. And then there's a separate thing like last time that then fully enables the player, right? Looking... I think stop override does this. Yeah, stop override also does an enable that will enable the respawning. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit buried, but it works. Okay. I guess to test this, I would want to just take disc kill floor. Does this already go? This goes through it, but the launching from the spring thing currently doesn't. We can change that. I guess just might be too tall now, but whatever. It doesn't trigger while I'm going through the air. If it triggers after I hit the ground, then it's fine. So that, I think we went through it, probably, and it didn't do it, so it's fine. I'm gonna land, and now we're landing inside of it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. And I did that in play mode, so it undid itself. Good. Cool. I also noticed that there was a warning of, like, trying to respawn while the rigid body of the player wasn't active, and that was a thing, but that's also no longer there, so that's good. Huzzah. Cool. Well, yeah, that's another little thing fixed that I didn't think I would be something I'd have to fix, but there we go, did that. Coolsies. Awesome. So, now what? I am kind of at a point where I could... Am I ready to start jumping into this monstrosity? I'm not, like, I was expecting to do it next year. I'm not know if I'm prepared to necessarily. Gotta figure out, like, where I'm even... Like, what my plan is for even starting to dissect this. And how much of this I'm going to be able to preserve versus... I imagine there's going to be some amount that I'm going to need to, like, change and whatever. My goal, I'm hoping to not have to, like... you know, rewrite this entire level. I want to try to stick to the plans I made, you know, a while ago when I made them. Although some of them are going to be recontextualized of, like, we did this amount of planning with the old player. Now with the new player, I mean, it's very similar, but just having more of the whole going upside down, going up wall, doing loop-to-loops, verticality is less of an issue, I suppose. Which even solves that. I remember planning this was a bit tricky with trying to have parts going from like a lower part to an upper part. Like, oh, how do I properly, you know, have hazards that work with that? This whole going up walls thing solves that very nicely. I don't know if the whole scale of the level, if I'm going to find that to be wrong, if I'm going to, for some reason, decide to basically just... Not like that, but I'm going to undo this in a second, but if I decide to, like, essentially do this, just so that, like, you know, how long does it take the player to cross from one side of the level to the other, that kind of thing. We'll see. There's also the issue, not so much issue, but something I didn't realize it might be as much of an issue until we actually started dealing with it in, over here, is that, these ride placeholders, before, only very recent, or up until very recently, do I even have, like, it was just a big old cylinder thing that's like, oh, that'll be a ride eventually. I made like a placeholder like this. It's still placeholder, but less placeholder, more communicative of the idea that, hey, look, it's a circus ride. It's, you know, one of those scrambler things. I still wanted to make a, like, it having like 3 animation things, one for being in operation, one for it being like, oh no, it's breaking, you gotta repair it. Like, yeah, there's the damage circles, but like something like more like with the actual model itself, like, oh no, like one of the things is kind of broken off, or it's spinning out of control, or like whatever. And then one that's like, oh, the health bars reach 0, it's like broken beyond repair, it's just a mesh of parts now, or whatever, and like fire or something like that. When I made this, I realized that like this for this ride to work as it kind of needed to, roughly, it needed to be a lot bigger than the placeholder was. This that was here was only like, maybe, I don't know, this big or something, and having the chairs be that small just like looked very obviously weird, in that it's like is smaller than a person. If I'm to, you know, have my person be up against that, if that's like a 2-seater seat or whatever, then like that's what it takes for the scale to make sense. And then for this ride itself, it needs to, like, it needed to spin in a way that the seats don't intersect with each other, and like with themselves. Like there's the measurements of this specific ride mattered more, that like forced it to kind of have a certain minimum size to not look weird. So that was a thing. And that might apply to other rides, more or less. If I have like, I use rides as a very, very generic just thing to repair in this game of mine that is circus related. I can have, you know, like that, like scramble a ride, have drop towers, like all those kind of, you know, ride type things. But then I'm also extending that to like, oh, here's a food truck that you got to repair, or here's like, you know, carnival games in, you know, little. Yeah, the carnival games, you know, like, oh, throw a ring on like a bunch of bottles, win prizes, like that kind of thing. Those are gonna count as things to repair, and those, in theory, could be smaller. It's gonna depend from ride to ride. Like, some kind of have certain minimum dimensions that they need. And when I initially in this just placed, oh, here's a placeholder of what's gonna eventually be a ride that's surrounded by stuff. I'm worried a little bit that when I go to then place a ride in here, it's like, oh, it needs to be massive, and oh no, I'm not gonna be able to squeeze it between the hazards that need to be between here. So I don't know if I, to some degree, need to like, actually, how many, hold on. There's like 12. This level, I happen to plan having 12 things to repair. So in theory, I need to make 12 things. Ideally, this level has 12 unique things. The test level had like 6 of the same thing, because placeholder and temporary stuff. Even if I make 2 things that look very similar but different colored or whatever temporarily. Anyway, like, so like 6 different rides or whatever, or 12 different rides, or, you know, food trucks, merchandise thing, circus games, whatever. I don't know if I need to more so decide like what's going where before I go too deep into designing the whole like levels and stuff, or if I just preemptively like allow like a massive circle that is what the ride's gonna be, and then when I actually make it, if it's smaller, then like that's fine, I can maybe work with that. I don't know. Or I could be like, oh, this thing needs to be like a small circled thing, I don't know what it's gonna be specifically, but then when I go to put something there, then from all the different rides I could possibly pick something that properly matches those dimensions well enough. That's the other way to go about it. Because if I want to put something small here, I can pick a smaller sized thing. Like I said, like a food truck or whatever. Whereas that other things could get away with being longer. This here, oh, I forgot about this. Right. Oh no. I remembered this being something I thought about doing. I forgot that I went this far in actually planning it. Oh, no. That's going to be more complicated. Well, how complicated it is, I have to decide how complicated it's going to actually be in practice. So that makes this look extra complicated. Let me turn off these for a minute. So I've rambled many times about what these colors mean and what they do and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do that again to then also say the extra bit of what this cyan is. So, actually, that's even better done if I kind of do this one at a time. If I go... So, you just start with this. Even, I could start with just this. Wow, looks so much simpler. Also, even all these, like, blocks here are, like, temporary, probably. I gotta figure out how I'm also gonna, like, physically construct this, and, like, if I want to do... How much I'm gonna try to do in Unity with, like, Pro Builder or something. I'm very rusty on Pro Builder. Or how much I'm going to try to do pure from Blender or something. That's going to be a whole thing to figure out. So this level, I want to be in a gigantic submarine. And for funsies, I'm saying it's a submarine that's like in a volcano. So outside of, or like where the submarine is, instead of water, it's going to be lava. That doesn't affect the gameplay much. That's more of a, because I can have it be different and more, panic. Anyways, so yeah, the submarine. So this, like the placeholder stuff. The planning of this level is more. You can squint your eyes and see it's submarine shape. This being the front, this being the back. It's more long, I guess, as being this giant submarine thing that I'm hoping to like test interiors with, see how that's gonna work gameplay wise and camera wise and whatnot. Not like tight cramped interiors probably, but still like pretty open interior thing rather than being a whole exterior thing. The submarine, I think, will always be at, like, the surface, but it's going to be enclosed on the top. Because I want from the hub world that you, like, launch into it and kind of, like, you know, like a pipe somewhere on it. You sort of go down it, and then, bam, you're in the submarine. It's kind of what I'm hoping. This is the player spawn. That's easy explained. The thing, this is going to... Where the player spawns is also where the end level platform is going to be. Or that's the current plan. That doesn't have to be the case. I think for now it's going to be the case. So you're going to go around and do stuff at the level and then come back here when you complete all the objectives. This is the main stuff that you're going to be doing throughout the level. That is repairing circus rides. Every random amount of seconds, one of these rides is going to start breaking. Health bar going to be going down. You have to quickly get to that ride and repair it before health bar reaches 0. And as different rides are breaking, you have to strategize, like, okay, what's my fastest way of getting, you know, if the player is here, and this is breaking, and this one's breaking, and this one's breaking, what is the best order of how I can go, like, oh, get to here, and then there, or, like, here, and then here, and then here. You know, getting from place to place efficiently, while also dodging hazards. It can be the case that, like, oh, here's a path that's, like, short, but has some really tough hazards, so if I get hit, it wastes more time. But if I go around the slightly longer way, it's safer, but it takes longer, you know, stuff like that. I'm hoping to kind of be the case. That's going to take a lot of, like, tweaking of different parts of levels and, you know, really, you know, the balancing of it, having it be fair, having it be random, but not so random that, like, you know, it's wildly different, like, how, you know, what rides are breaking, like, wildly affects, like, the level being trivial and being, you know, being easy versus being literally impossible no matter how fast you go. Ideally, it's, you know, random, but, hopefully, you know, kind of fair. I mean, there's the 3 strikes thing in that, you know, if a ride fully breaks, then, yeah, the 3 strikes rule and then you're out. Although I want the levels to be beatable, strikeless. There's, like, you know, there's gonna be, you know, achievement stuff behind that, or, you know, beating levels strikeless. And, anyways, so for most of the level of however long it's gonna be, we had, I think, some additional stuff written down somewhere. I think I'd written down roughly how long the level's gonna be. We'll see how long that is. Ideally more than 5 minutes. I don't know. Anyways, so you go from place to place, repair rides. Yes, but that's not all you do in this level. This is, like, the main objective. Actually, before I get to any of these, I want to open this one. So these are optional repairs. A mechanic that isn't quite functional yet is something we're going to have to make, but we're going to make in the context of You know, in this scene rather than in my random other test level stuff. So optional repairs is like, hey, let's say for like this one, oh, this door here and here are like broken and you cannot pass. You can't go through here. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if you go from this right to this right super fast? Basically like something here that has its own like health bar that is at 0 at the beginning of, you know, when you start the level. If you go up to it, you can repair it, and if you repair it fully, then hey, this opens and now it's a shortcut. Basically, wasting time to make shortcuts is a mechanic, is a thing I want here. And in theory, it'll take like a while to fully unlock, like to fully open up a shortcut. So it's not like the normal rides you can repair in seconds. In theory, this is like solid like 10 seconds of, you know, repairing it or something. But their repairing progress persists. I mean, it does on normal rides, kind of. But, so, like, I'm hoping, I would like to be the case, is the idea of, like, oh, as I'm passing by, like, I know this is going to be useful later, so I repair this, and then I go and repair this for a couple seconds, and then leave it and run away. And then later in the level, I come back over here, and then I go repair it a little bit more, and I run away. And I come back and repair it a little bit more, and hey, now it's completed, and now I can use it for the rest of the level. That'd be the hope that kind of thing can happen. Now, like, different repairs can take more or less time based on maybe how useful they are. And the idea is when you start the level, you're not going to be repairing as much, but later in the level, maybe as things start to break faster and faster, then you're getting like more behind, and then shortcuts can matter more. So the idea is hopefully like while things are calmer and tamer at the beginning of the level, you want to, you know, think ahead and be opening up these shortcuts, so then later on when then things get more hectic, then you have them there. Would be cool. It'd be interesting to have like an achievement behind like, hey, you opened up every shortcut. That'd be kind of cool, but not necessarily required. They're optional for a reason. Most of these are just like, yeah, you know, open up a thing and then you can pass between. Even like all of this many green is just kind of this is something that like after making, I think in hindsight for future levels I might do differently, but I want to commit to this as it is that when I have an optional repair, I might more have like, here's a line of debris you cannot pass. Like here is a single door that you're kind of hitting the same spot from both sides. Rather than over here, I'm thinking it might be like some giant room that you can't get in that like, here's a door, here's a door, here's a door, here's a door kind of thing. That you can be repairing it from any of them and it's all the same combined health bar. That then it opens up and then you have this whole space you can run around inside. I want to try like sticking to what I planned here, but I'm thinking that like more later on and more likely that like with this one it's more of just a door that you open up between two sides of kind of where you've been, but now you go between them quicker, but we'll see. Oh, sorry, additional thing also is that this could be like, oh hey, it's, you know, from here to up here it's like takes longer to go through here, but maybe, or like longer distance, but you know, maybe from here to here is some really hard hazard, but going from here to here is super easy. Like maybe there's some speed boosts involved, and it's like barely, you know, but opening up a shortcut's like, you know, just a faster way of that's more consistently safe. Like that could be part of it potentially. I don't remember off the top of my head like what hazards I have here and here specifically. I have those written down, but like as an example. Anyways, optional repairs. One optional repair of significance is this one and this one. I already have here cannons. Broken cannons that you repair it, and then it is a cannon that launches you from one side of the level to the other. I wanted that to be a thing, I think, for the submarine thing. Having like some tube in the top that then you launch out of, and you can see the submarine below you, and then whoa, then you land in through some other tube, and then you land over there. I think that's cool. I don't know if I would have both these cannons have separate health bars, or if they would be combined in one and the same. I'm thinking maybe one and the same, potentially. I don't want to go overboard on having too many optional repair things. It depends on how long it takes to repair them, right? Anyways, so those exist. Next is, as I said, at the beginning, you're going around and repairing rides. That's not all you do. I want the level to start with, hey, you're going around and repairing rides. You do that for a couple minutes or whatever. And then, surprise, you're in a submarine. You're in a thing that's underwater. There's some leaks now. Leaks that are coming in, and you gotta repair them or the submarine's gonna explode. Go have fun with that. And basically at, I've like written down somewhere, but let's just say at like 2 minutes, hypothetically. Boosh, you know, 10 things all at once, and now you've got to repair them. But also the circus rides are still breaking. They didn't stop. So now there's like more panic of you got to make sure you're still handling these guys, but now you have extra stuff over here to handle. And the circus rides, as I said before, are like every so-and-so seconds, this one's breaking. Now this one's breaking over here. Now this one's breaking over here. And they're going down at like different rates and whatever. With this, it's like 10 things all at once, same, not the same health bar, but same amount of health. So it's like 10 health bars that are all going down together, that you go here and repair this one, repair this one, repair this one, repair this one. But that's just kind of a different style of repairing, but still the same mechanics, just, you know, funkier, and different. And rather than repairing the ride, it's repairing these leaks in the side of the, like, in the walls or whatever, so it's extra different. If I have the fact that it's like under like lava, that if lava is spilling in, then that's like a thing you can run into and like spin out in, it's like a hazard, that could be a thing too, we'll see. Anyways, and I believe I planned that where these are is in kind of like easy to get to spots, like they're not too out of the way from rides, so like the obstacles between these aren't going to be like that bad. That's just because it's the first wave, getting used to, hey, this is a thing that can happen, have fun, deal with it. And this kind of, where they are kind of making you go in a big like circle around the level, and you could be starting from a different point. You could be over here when they start, so you have to deal with it that way, or you could be over here and have to deal with them going around this way. Like, it can be, have some randomness a little bit to it, of then as you're learning the environment and what is the best way to get from point A to point B, and as you're going along here, then like, oh, I'll go to the side to repair this, yada yada. Anyways, so this happens, you deal with it, they're gone. Then after another couple minutes, another wave, and this is only, I think, 5. Yeah, I have five more happen, but as you see, they're in more spread out. They're more in hard to reach locations was the idea, more out of the way. And you deal with those, again, while also dealing with these. And hey, maybe you have more shortcuts open now or something like that. Anyway, you deal with them, then they're gone. And then towards the end is a kind of finale thing of the level, a third wave, where there's like 15 in a combination of spots, some like easier, some like, basically, how I worded it in my playing before is like, the first wave is in 5, or is in like 10 in like easy to get to spots. Wave 2 is like 5 hard to get to spots. And then wave 3 is in 15 like medium to get to spots, but kind of just all over the place. You deal with all of these, and then the level is done. Or I think it was gonna be like, you deal with all these, and then another like X amount of time, then like dealing with the rest of the rides, and then the level is done. The level does not end exactly like at a timer, like, oh, 5 minutes, once you hit 5 minutes, then level is done. It's more of a certain amount of time that then's like, oh, the carnival closes or something, and then whatever you still need to repair is still going down and breaking, and you still need to finish that up, but it's more of a time that you're gonna hit when they're in no new things will start to break. No new circus rides will start to break. So no new things will break. You got to repair what's left. Once you're repaired what's left, then the level is done. Then this guy opens up, and then you, as the last thing you do is get over to there, and then you win. So yeah, huzzah. So that, in a nutshell, is the plan. Now this thing over here, well, I think I wanted to have, as an extra cool, like, circusy thing, have one of the sort of ride things be that there's just a roller coaster track that's going and weaving in and around different parts of this level. And I think this was just kind of to be the path of it, roughly. And hoping that will be cool and whatnot. I don't know if I want this to be a thing that breaks. It could. This would require some extra special programming. I think I have some parts where this crosses, like purposely crosses, like, hey, here's a, you know, a bit of what would be path. You have to go at the right time, or like the roller coaster itself would be a hazard. Like there's the track that's going along. If you cross at the wrong time, you get hit by it. That's a hazard. I don't know if I'd want it to be a thing that could like break at one of those points, and now it's blocking your path, and you got to repair it. Ooh, I like that. It would have to be able to only break at certain like intervals, right? Like I don't think I'd have it break like mid loop-de-loop, as you know, somewhere that you can't as easily get to it. So this would be a lot more complicated and a lot more out there of a, it's gonna take more programming, more elbow grease to get this functional, but it would up the amount of like, hey, circus, it's a circus, with circusy stuff around, and would be very cool. And hypothetically, a lot of the stuff that we make for the first time for this level, I could reuse in other levels in different contexts or whatever. Even just the code to repair rides, then also being used to repair the cracks in the wall or whatever, we already have a lot of that done. That is going to be more about, like, just the setting them up individually, and then, like, the graphical side of it and whatever. So I would like to try this idea of having the even just, like, thing one is have this roller coaster that's going around that is a constant hazard to avoid. And then thing two, having it be a thing that can break and repair as counting as a circus ride. So I guess that would be 13 total ride things to repair, I guess, is based on the current plans. But one that's on the move, that seems cool. Yeah. So turning all of this on, you can then see all of it together. Like, why there's so many things and so many, like, lines between all the things and it looks extra complicated is because not all of these are there at once. For most of the level, you're just dealing with the blue, the green's an optional, the purple is where you started. You don't need to go back there, but you can, like, go through it to get to other places, I guess. I do happen to have, like, if one of the leaks is beside there, so yeah, that exists. Yeah, so it looks complicated, but I don't think it'll be as complicated in practice of, like, I don't think it's gonna be so complicated that it's gonna overwhelm the player, especially because we kind of introduce these ideas, like, incrementally. That and, the level before this, level 1, I don't think will look like as much of a spider web because it won't have as many, you know, individual things like this going on, in theory. We'll see when we get there. Okay, so then the extra thing that I have is the obstacles here. This is what the way that I wanted to plan this level, and hypothetically all my levels. What's gonna make this better than the previous test levels we have, it's just like, oh, it's like a glorified, like, skate park kind of thing. Of just, here's some ramps and you know, loop to loops just kind of spread about or whatever. Actually, you know, better with example. Actually, is it gonna be functional? This guy. I don't think this is gonna run. Let's find out. Oh my god, I can't move. I can't move, but fair enough. Anyway, well, this, though. This was, like, our original, like, test level thing where it's like, you know, here's an environment with, hey, some hazards, some tightropes, and some rides that are now way bigger than they used to be. But this is not very good because you can very easily just kind of weave around everything, right? You don't have to deal with these hazards that much. And in the context of this specifically, there's not that much hazards going on in the first place. Over here, I made it a point that basically we threw around all of these points of interest in the level, things that you're going to be regularly going between, and between any 2 points of interest, there is some hazard or obstacle, I say generically, because that can mean a lot of different things. So also I'm reading these a lot, like, for the first time since we did this back in, like, I don't know, December or something, or whatever, no, maybe longer than that, whatever it was. What was I saying? So between, like, you know, these 2 rides, I have, like, navigate around sticky glue. That's a thing I happen to write. Or between here and here, switching wind, blowing you into glowing hot pipes. So, like, I guess going along, like, a thing of pipes that you touch the walls, it hurts you, and wind that's blowing back and forth, so you have to, like, deal with that. So that's stuff, hypothetically. That between any 2 hazards, you have to deal with stuff. And even, or between any two points of interest. And some are not as bad, where it's like this, I want this to be a big magnet wall, so even just between here and here, it's just magnet wall. It's still, like, going on the side and, like, going up there, not as much dealing with hazard. But it's still something. It's not just go in a straight line and that's it. It's weave around something, even if it's not something that hurts you. It's, you know, fall down into something, you know, or actually for most of them are, you know, deal with actual hazards and whatnot. This is something I don't know how well this is gonna work, but I wanted to try it. Having a room that's so dark you can barely see and having to navigate around a room where you can't see so well. I don't know how this is gonna work, but a lot of this is going to be an experiment of trying a lot of things and seeing what works and what doesn't, and what ideas we have to, like, toss out in place of other things. Maybe as we're building something, I'll have in my head, like, here's what I meant when I wrote down this particular obstacle, but then as we're making it, like, oh, you know, it would be better if we did this, and we evolve it into something else. We'll see. Some are more, like, descriptive than others, like just dark room isn't a lot. Ice room, this well, this is one of the optional repair things as I thought would be interesting. Is like this entire area is just like frozen solid, like one big block of ice, and by repairing it, you, I don't know, turn on something that then it all melts, so you have kind of icy looking room that you go between that maybe you like slide. I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of things here that well, there's a lot of hazards that are just gonna be like, here's a thing that you touch and it hurts you, and you know that means different things, and you know it's like, oh, something that like swings back and forth, or something that turns on and off, and that's a lot of, you know, reusing code we already have, just more of a graphical thing. But there's definitely gonna be a lot here where we have to make new mechanics, new things, and you know that'll be interesting. Even with some of these optional repair things, it's gonna be a lot of visual stuff. Like here's an area that's filled with lava, and then you drain the lava, but then it doesn't go away completely. Now it's some small patches that you have to weave around. Like that'll be cool. I mean, in terms of like the programming side of that, that's no different than just the blobs of red that we have that touch you when you hit them, right? So like a lot of it's similar. But like I see conveyor belts. That's not well. That shouldn't be hard to make in theory. Whether we have more physical conveyor belt or just like a moving texture that when you're on it, it pushes you. You know, we'll see. Wind is not a thing that we have, but I was very conscious about programming stuff with the player with the idea that things external to the player could add forces to the player, and hopefully that'll still work and be fine and not cause heaps and heaps of issues. We'll see. What else have we got around here? I see like curving stairs. There's some stuff here where it's like that might be more likely to change, where going from lower areas to upper areas before we, you know, had the stuff of being able to like go up walls. I'm like, I gotta, you know, have something here. What do I do to go up easily? And that's not just like, oh, here's an elevator for the 50th time. I happen to have like curved stairs, spaced out sections that drop to the lower levels. That's apparently a thing that I did, but that doesn't have to be like stuff. The things that are more likely to change might be stuff like this, where I decide like, hey, I mean, I could still do this. Just the fact that you can kind of go up walls with speed doesn't mean that I can't have something like this necessarily. We'll see. This is the front of the sub, so I see that I wanted some big glass thing. Magnet metal lines. Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember I wanted this to be more of a, rather than going straight up and more like curving around a curving metal wall thing. This should actually work great with the new player stuff. So, yeah. This is supposed to be a tightrope, apparently. So not just a floor like this. Okay. Sure. We'll see how much I also, like, move things around. Like, if I say I want this to be a tightrope, maybe I extend those further apart. That's possible. I'd have to, like, see... Actually, let me just, as a test, I'm just curious. If I put this over here, how long in a straight line does it take to cross the length of the level with the current player? And is that an indication that I need to take all of this and sort of, like, scale it up a bit? Let me go into play mode and then move over the player. It'll be easier. Oh, what happened to... Why is the lighting so weird? Errors. Fun. I will come back to that. I got a player to reposition. There's one. Where are you? You're here. I can't see you under all the text. Okay, be here. How are you, bigger or smaller than I think that you are? Okay. So roughly like here-ish. Okay, you know what? So looking at it in the editor, I was starting to be like, oh, you know, maybe it's kind of small. Might it be too small? Seeing this here, it actually looks bigger than I thought, which is good. It should be a pretty massive environment. So it's kind of over here. Takes roughly that long going in a straight line, right? Like going through all that, you're gonna be weaving around stuff. Maybe you had to like wait, thing passes, and then go. It's gonna be stuff all in between. There's the vertical part of it. But But yeah, okay, crossing all of this unassisted by anything else doesn't take like 2 seconds. So yeah, I'm gonna try to stick with the scale of what I got there. We'll see how well that works. Or, as I said, I might move things around, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so, yeah, let me see that. We'll get rid of that. So, before I start actually making anything, I see that we got some errors. I think I know part of why, and that's, over in the SkyHub testing thing, it's using this hub area, like this hub world thing that we made. Over under old, or no, just demo, it has this hub world that is different. Are you, oh, my immediate guess is that you think you need a reference to clouds that you don't have. Okay, hold on, let me just, because it will potentially be the case that my this testing hub world here that's just loading between my, test levels is gonna be different than, this proper demo hub area that needs only 3-level entrances and will visually look a lot different and all that stuff. Okay, so you there. Any chance that that's enough? If I go to play mode from here, I see lighting. Okay, can I launch into you? Let's just to test the waters. We just see from changing all the player and okay, that was funky. From changing all the player stuff, in the other scenes. I don't immediately get errors here. I was curious if just the objective stuff was going to be working at all. Which it is. That's cool. The cannon itself, though... I mean, to fix this, I just gotta... Actually, I know why this isn't... like, what part of this needs to change? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Get back there. With the old player, this could need to be slightly off the ground. Now... I want it to be exactly against the ground, in theory. Exactly exact? Yeah, kinda. Maybe like slightly above, but definitely not as above as it was a couple moments ago. Go 5-5. So from in here, shouldn't notice an issue. From here, shouldn't notice no issues. Errors, I see errors. Okay, well, we'll talk about that. Didn't solve them all. Why? Level end. What do you need a reference to? Oh, on frame 1, I'm inside it, right? Is that the issue? If I move you over here temporarily, then no error. If I give you there, then error. I can move it over. I want to fix this if I want the case, like right now, if I want it to be the case that, well, I mean, frame 1 won't be in it. We'll always, from like a natural player state. What changed here? Okay. From a natural player state, we're gonna launch from the hub world into here, I think. So that shouldn't happen, but I'd still like to fix it regardless. So you're here, end trigger dot enabled. So is it that this is running before this does? I mean, is it enough to go? Well, I was about to say, like, add some null trigger stuff here, but this should never happen on frame 1. This shouldn't be... Wait, you shouldn't be allowed to run. Are you supposed to be... Let me double check something. On frame 1, I turn off the box collider. Yeah. So it should just be disabled already. Does this need a get component? Does it need the true thing? No, that's for get component in children. To be able to get references even while it's disabled. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't do that inside the prefab. Yeesh. Okay. Yeah. Wow. No error. Crazy. Cool. This is very bright, but I'm actually not sure why. Are you taking... You're taking some amount of... that's the thing I'm going to deal with. Is taking some amount of information from the... Some lighting stuff from the hub world, although the hub world only has point lights. I actually don't know... I don't know what's being copied specifically. Stuff with... this, perhaps? Is it possible? Does that then look the same? That looks Yeah, that don't look so good. If I go out of play mode, you're gonna back to normal. No, you are that. If I go to play mode, you're this. Okay, so it's actually not that specifically. Oh wait, sorry. No, you changed because I changed you. Is it from some kind of post-processing thing? Kind of, but not really. I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but I prefer if it didn't do that. Interesting that you can't have a. Interesting. I will come back to that. Okay, whatever. Something I'll worry about some other time. Okay, so what time? It is 11. I think I'm gonna have to stop a little bit early today, so I might not be able to go for too much longer. But we're definitely at the point that like next time we will be starting with this, so that's cool. But even if I'm to try to start with some of it right now, I don't know where the best way I want to start this is. Whether I could start from the player spawn and sort of build outwards of just what's around, but like I mean that's a lot of things there. I could start with just connecting all of the like the circus ride things, but some of them matter in relation to like what's the leak stuff beside them. I could just start at this end, build whatever stuff is here, and then slowly work over. Not exactly sure. And then however I'm gonna how I'm gonna build like placeholder stuff. We're gonna start by sort of like blocking out the whole level in theory, and then having some amount of placeholder stuff for all the different hazards that need to exist, and then start making them work better one by one. We're not gonna. I'm hoping to not do too much graphical stuff yet until like the level itself is more functional. Because if I make a bunch of graphical stuff and then don't use it or change things or need stuff to fundamentally work different for just whatever, yeah, will save me time. Yeah, and like some hazard stuff it can be a matter of like, oh hey, just make, you know, some placeholder cylinder, some whatever wacky shape. But some stuff is going to require like, oh, you know, finish making this whole game mechanic with like the optional repairs. Magnet wall is like 99% done. It's a toggle that needs to properly be set if we hit some trigger that's like magnet wall. So that should be fine. But there's other stuff with like, over here I had like glue. Like, oh, touch this surface, go slower or something. But also like a lot of the things individually don't sound that bad, but it's just a matter of making all of them. How do I want to start this? I kind of am rambling as I'm just unsure the best way to approach this. And maybe I start by just looking at what obstacles are around here. Let's go to the flattened view. That might help. And even going with 3D icons, so I can just look at what's actually closer. And as I said, I want to try not changing the obstacles I have here too much. I want to try like just making what I happened right here work, if I can. But we'll see how much I change things anyway. So around the player spawn, I wanted. Okay, so with this being a submarine, I remember wanting like this to be a big kind of like open area, and then from like actually basically where these big squares are, I kind of wanted like open area. Open area, open area, but then between them was like sequences of rooms and stuff. That like a lot of these platforms kind of represent, well, roughly where like rooms are gonna be. Not necessarily the size of them, and there's gonna be obviously lots of stuff in between, but there was that. I mainly remember that from up here, and I remember there's like a broken door here that you can see directly, but you can't go through without repairing it. So the only way, so if you're here, actually, the only way to get here is what? You have to go, wow, actually, that's a big around. You have to go over here and around that way, or over here and around through this blue and down there, or... Is there no connection between here and here? Oh, I think I did that on purpose. If there was a connection between here and here, and you could quickly go down like, whoop, whoop, then this is less important. Although there is one between here and here. But, like, well, this goes between here and here, but the point of this optional repair isn't necessarily just from here to here. It's from here to a lot of different places that it connects to that can potentially be more helpful. Like, I see that big one would be probably from, like, here to, like, down here, potentially. But, it just so happens you can start repairing it from here as well. Maybe. In here, possibly. Bouncy balloon. I do not remember writing that at all. Okay, sure. You got it. Past me. I also remember environment-wise, I thought it'd be cool if this could have a bit of like a steampunk-looking environment sort of thing. So a lot of stuff here I know there's lots of like pistons and gears and stuff. And then also just circus things. Left, right, swinging platforms. Sure. Some things are more generic in that like I'll figure it out in the context of things around them. Gears like saw blades. Cool. Did I mean that like... Well, yeah, saw blades, like, whoosh. I mean, so, okay. Well, I mean, I can interpret this now as, like, do these move? Are they just there to, like, weave around? Don't run into them? Or they move back and forth? What's the environment like? Can you fall? Oh, speaking of falling, I had it being... I remember when I was playing this, that I don't want there really be any cases of falling to your death in this level, I think. Other levels will definitely have that, but with this being more of like an interior, you're inside this giant submarine, I wanted to try having that, like, well, you can fall, and you fall down to these lower areas, and, you know, that's not good. Gotta do a bit of climbing to get back up to where you might need to be. Yeah, I wanted to try... Yeah, so this area isn't gonna happen to have any, it'll have falling, but not a falling respawn, whatever. So potentially falling and having to get back up. Consequence for failure. Man, I don't know. Okay, so like, okay, here I see I have pistons rising and lowering as platforms. Sure. These say the same thing because I might have wanted them to be the same, essentially the same hazard, or just rising and lowering as different things. This might be something I'm more likely to. When I had more of a problem before of like, oh hey, going vertically, I need sometimes some kind of elevator-like things, because now there's more of the momentum stuff. This can just be a vertical wall sort of thing. So, like, this might be something I come back to. Maybe but if I'm gonna change stuff, I don't want to, like, swap everything like that for a just flat wall that you go up and over, necessarily. So I might want to, like, if I have something I might want to swap out, hold off on that and come back to it. Do all of the things that I know for sure will definitely be whatever idea, and all of the maybes then come back to afterwards so I can see them in isolation. Or something along those lines. I guess another thing I could do is, before I make all the, you know, hazards in between two areas without deciding, like, okay, if there's a circus ride here, how much space is it physically taking up? Because it's not going to take up a tiny little square like this. It might be this massive, and that's going to affect how much hazard I can fit in between them. So maybe a better starting place is making better placeholder boxes or spheres or whatever that represent, for this point of interest, how much space is it going to physically take up, roughly. Okay, that's an idea. So I'm going to make, do I have this glass material? Hey, where did I just put this guy? Actually, we go, why are you not copying? Here you go. Make just a different thing, because that glass is probably used on something else somewhere, and I might want to, I'm going to make this more transparent. Something like placeholder transparent or something. Put you on, make you a lot more. Whoa, not 2. I was gonna go with 20. Even that might be too small. I don't know. And get rid of any colliders that you have. So if I wanted to say that this circus ride takes up roughly, wow, you know, this much space. Is that true? I don't know. Oh, where's the... I should have everything enabled for this. You know, everything except the obstacles, because, well, yeah, we'll come back to that. Maybe. I don't know. So if this is going to take up roughly... Well, how about let me just start by just placing a bunch of spheres on all of them? I mean, I might have some rides that's like, oh, this is definitely going to be a rectangular shape. This is definitely going to be a super tall cylinder. Come back to that. This just as a starting point. Just to have things here. Do I just want to... Yeah, I guess I could just... Real quick, just kind of... Yeah. Just quickly copy and paste these spheres. I should do it like this. And then... Oh, you didn't go underneath, as I was hoping you would. Fine. And your names are a little bit weird. Whatever, it's fine. And I do this. We'll come back to the leak stuff in a sec. Okay, and if I just zero these all out, they'll go where they ought to be. That's cool. And I said before that, like, so I very much underestimated, like, how big some of these rides might actually need to be based on how big I initially thought they'd be. This is the kind of thing that it might be beneficial that I assume... I have these circles be bigger than I might actually think that they're going to be, possibly. I want to get a quick reference, though. How big is this? This thing is massive. And let me just copy this, go back to the OC, just to kind of have it off to the side as like a scale reference. How big are you compared to these circles? If I put you under just here... Wow, wait, did I actually get that? I got that pretty exact. That's pretty cool. Alright, fair enough. I thought I was going to make the series even bigger, so never mind, I guess. I could just leave this here. Turn it off, but I won't delete it. Okay, we have that, I guess. I should go through and do this for the leaks as well, because they're going to need, like... well... These won't need to take up as much space, right? In theory, this is going to be like a thing in the wall that you go up to. Well, okay, actually, here's the thing. Am I counting these based on the physical, or it's going to be roughly the colliders of the thing itself, or how close you need to be to physically repair it? Because if there's, you know, a hazard attacking you while you're in range of trying to repair the thing, I mean, that could be something I want, hypothetically. I was also playing the thing of the idea that some rides might be maybe special in that, like, you have to repair them from a specific place. Like, here's a big control box kind of thing that you have to go up to more specifically and repair that. That could be a thing. Or most rides will just be, you get close to them in general and it's fine, which I think that works better for just approaching it from any side and having that be allowed. We'll see. For now, I think we're going to assume hitting it from any side, even with the repairing the leak in the wall. If it's like spewing lava, if there's, you know, this is a big crack and it's spewing lava, you know, here, that if you touch this, it hurts you. You'd have to kind of get it from here or here. Yeah. So it should be like, you know, pretty wide enough, I think. I think maybe for the leaks, I'll put the kind of how wide to interact with it. Maybe, something like that. Alright, I think I'm just gonna have to take all these spheres and... Is there... paste this child, yeah. I'd like if there was a... There might be a shortcut to do that. I don't know, though. Oh, well. I just do the same thing real quick. Oh, there's gonna be so many of these. Oh, well. Planning now means less pain and suffering later. Can I, like... I wonder if I could... Oh, that would have been so cool. If I could, you know, shift selected and then paste this child on all of them, have it somehow do that. I kind of completely get why that's not the case, but oh well. Yeah, and as I said a second ago, we'll see what of these I might change to being like, oh, this is going to be some tall ride, so represent with a cylinder. Or this thing will definitely be some small food truck thing, represent it with just a little rectangle. Should I, like, lock that in more so now? I don't really... Right now, I don't really want to go through, like, reading through lists of potential circus rides. I think I have, like, some kind of list somewhere for that, but, like, not as much. Wait, how am I missing one? Oh, because I didn't... So now what I want to do is, sphere all of these and just go 0, 0, 0. Haha. Is this all the ones? It's including that one. So all the ones on specifically the leaks, they should all be considerably smaller, I believe. So something like 5 seems too little, 10 roughly, but knowing that it's like be inside this bubble isn't in the colliders. I have this one that might cause issues. I want this one to be one that's like on a magnet wall that's coming out. You can be on the side and repairing it. We'll see how that works. This one, I will technically fall in that category, and this one too, but you can be on the ground by art. Like, this will be angled surface onto wall. This one, I'm not sure of. But I think some, like this, I definitely have more wiggle room to, like, play around with what exactly it's going to be, moving it around a little bit. It's these ones that are, like, in the middle of chunks of level that are going to be trickier, I think. Yeah, alright, there's a lot of bubbles, sure. Do I want to, like, just gonna take the material real quick. Where was it? This guy. No, where are you? Placeholder this. Just give it, like, a splash of color. Blue is, like, the thing to interact with. I don't know. Why do you have... Wait, you should not have shadows. That... Let's stop that. Wait, why do you still... Wait, what? Or... Oh, is it just because of the skybox that you look like you were... Are you... It looks like you're having... Or are you? Or is it my mind tricking me? I mean, I could change it to an unlit material, I guess. Unlit. Or wait, universal render pipeline. This doesn't matter that much, but whatever. Anyway, actually maybe I prefer it like looking like it has more. Nah, we'll do that. Anyways, whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay, next. And the roller coaster itself, there's a few bits where I have it like. Actually, do I have this written down in the obstacles? Is that here? It was meant to be like it crosses the path. Ooh, I don't think I do. I may have made the roller coaster thing after I planned a lot of this. So I might need to change. Let me kind of double check real quick. Do I have this written down anywhere? Like any hazards that specifically say like dodge the roller coaster? Not really. Fascinating. I don't know exactly how many points it actually will. Like, just be, hey, here's a thing happening in the distance to look kind of cool. Like this random, like, swivelly around thing versus whether you, the player, will actually, you know, be there. It would be kind of cool if this part, instead of climbing up to here, this part you're meant to get on the track and go up and around and then split off and it somehow goes up and around to there. So you have to go at the right time and go fast so that, like, you're going along the roller coaster track, but you're not getting hit by it. Although, that being said, like, what I want, like, now that the player itself is more, can do more momentum-y stuff, can do more of the loop-de-loops and whatnot, do I actually want it to be possible that you can, if you're not getting hit, go along the length of the entire roller coaster? What was this? I think this was supposed to, like, turn upside down and then... Well, that might not work super well. Okay, actually, thinking about it, this is probably a very narrow track that staying on it, doing all this, might be very, very, very hard to have work. Unless I put up, like, barriers along the side that kind of stick you to it as long as you're moving, but then you can't get out of it. And I don't want to invisible wall it, necessarily, but I can have, like... where it crosses here-ish, there's more like platform and the track goes over top, or then once it's like over here, then it's like just the rails and you can't really go on them. Those you sort of go through. So that feels less like hitting an invisible wall, and like that might be more fine. Unsure. Okay, so... Okay, well, we got this stuff, this down here. Okay, I think, like... in terms of what might change because of player things, like, this area is way more likely to change, I think. So I'm more tempted to maybe start somewhere else and come back to that. This area, I remember I wanted to do something neat with, where even though it's a big old like submarine that's gonna look wonky and barely put together or whatever, I wanted over here to be a giant glass pipe. So like the tubes that we have in our other test level, I wanted that to kind of go from here and wrap around over here. I thought maybe it could look interesting, but also have it split off in this direction and split off up. So I think like twisty inside large glass pipe or whatever, yeah. So this being more straight, this going like up and around or whatever. Not all of the lines need to be straight lines. Like from this, for this to go here to here, it could go woo, woo, over and around there, right? As long as it doesn't intersect with other parts of the level or cause issues like that. It's more like to get from here to here, here's what you got to deal with. Go in this rough direction and then, yeah, deal with that. Oh, I was gonna have a foggy room, and that's different than a dark room? I guess so. Yep. I mean, you have fog, you can kind of see through the fog. If it's dark, then you might not be able to see at all. A lot of this is just like, oh yeah, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, potentially. It's possible I go to make something, it doesn't turn out well, and then I replace it for something else just because of that. What do we got over here? Large hammer attached to gears slamming back and forth. Oh, I remember this. And I want it to not just be like, I want to be like, bam, bam, bam kind of thing. I remember that. Some thin path. Don't fall. Sure. Suction vent up. Yeah, this I wanted to have, yeah, wind that like sucks you up when we didn't have, this was essentially an elevator-y thing. Yeah, I remember that. We'll see if I stick to that or not. What's this? Oh, see, here's the case where, yeah, these are the same thing, because I think I wanted this to be one kind of continuous hallway going up and around sort of thing. Especially because over here, there's just these leaks. There's not the circus rides. So because most of the level you won't be dealing with these, I want these areas to kind of go back into where the rides are pretty easily. I also, if the ride itself ends up being bigger, I could, like, extend more over this way, have a more, like, long ride of some kind. And maybe that's what I do in terms of deciding what rides go where. I decide, like, this ride will work better if it's a long one. And then I go look at my options and then decide what ride fits that criteria and then make that, like, one of those swinging pirate ships or something. Would be cool. Large hammer, even that's the same thing, really? I mean, it doesn't have to be, this doesn't mean one singular large hammer swinging back between this whole area. It can be rows of them at different speeds that, because of their speeds, like, hey, maybe this is slightly easier to deal with. This is, like, one, like, you know, way more brutal one. It's, like, thicker or something. So even something that sounds the same, even this, oh, did I actually just plan for this to be one massive area? I might have. But that might be the case. The fact that this roller coaster goes through here, though, this might turn into Dodge the roller coaster and then hammers or something like that. 3 big gears, swap between them as they get hot. What? What was that one? Oh, here I did have a crossing the roller coaster track. What? You don't match at all. What are you? I must have just made this at some point, and then at a separate point in time made the actual track part of it, and didn't, like, just kind of forgot that that was there. So this would be the kind of thing that, like, I mean, the closest bit is here, right? So, well, two things. Either, oh, even, like, this is not a lot of room for the ride itself, so maybe it's, like, this bit is more severed than it looks, and you have to actually kind of go, like, woo, to get over here. Possible. Into the dark room. Yeah. Some of these might be, I mean, it's cool to have, I guess, tightly, like, densely together hazards, I guess. It won't have a level feel empty, but if it's too, like, dense, that could be an issue. But hey, this is level 4, you know, the testing grounds of actually doing, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And, like, big open areas, like, smaller areas. Could be stuff that, like, oh, we build a lot of things and then decide, oh, hey, this isn't working, changing it up. Or, you know, maybe it'll work better if we, even just, like, graphically, like, oh, it doesn't look that good, but then if we graphically make it look like this instead, even though the functionality of it's the same, then it could maybe, you know, look or function better. Although I am thinking that, like, okay. And another thing that I'm thinking of is that maybe it would, if I said that, like, most of the level would be about you go back 14 the circus rides, building this chunk of level, like all of the blue line collection, having that be the very first thing I do, might be better to then test, like, is the gameplay of that working and good and proper? If not, then they might need to move around, or it might just be a matter of retiming them or whatever. But then that could change a lot of things for then how the other stuff here works. Although if it has, some of this has problems, but then it's like, oh, once I build, you know, go from here to here has whatever issues, but then once I build the path that goes from here to here and around, or here and here and around, then it's more okay. Could be a thing. Maybe. I don't know. Unsure. Like, we've just been spending a while just scrolling through here because I've been reminding myself of things that I wanted to do. Oh, here, I didn't finish my train of thought over here with 3 big gears, swap between them as they get hot. I think I went, like, giant, like, gears that are slowly spinning. I don't remember them getting, like, hot. Like, I mean, if I have some kind of, like, oh, they go all, you know, like, bright red, like, some heat is going against them because we're in a volcano. That could have been what I meant there. So you're going between one and then another. I guess I could see that. Ooh, in the dark room having sparking wires. Yeah, so, like, down here, it's just a dark room. But up here, sparking wires. Wow. It's more an escalation of the idea. Some broken pistons. Sure, that's a thing. Wall pipes releasing steam. Sure. Move around a stack of boxes. Like, not every hazard needs to be, like, the most insane, crazy thing ever. You can be more tame stuff to balance out the more difficult things. Isn't this is a giant tightrope, right? Or large spinning platforms, stationary hanging, large spinning platforms with stationary hanging glowing hot pipes. Okay. Oh, the platforms spin, the hot pipes are stationary. I understand what I meant there. These lines crossing is interesting. I don't know if I might make this kind of like a 4-way intersection. That could be how that is. Let's do whatever I want to do. Pathways are a bunch of turns. Hip height walls. Almost like a maze, except you can clearly see the right path. Okay, yeah, that's a thing that I want. Sure. Lava dripping, melted holes in paths. That'd be cool. Lava dripping from above through floor grate. These would be a thing where it's kind of like, this is kind of a combined section. In this upper area, it's going around, weaving around holes where lava is dripping, and then down here you're doing with that same lava that's dripping down being more like in the way, or it's going through some grates, so it's like more of a straight path. Like, that'd be cool. Hammers hitting 3 lanes rapidly. Temple run. All right, got it. Hanging electrical wires. Curved stairs. I read that one before. Left half of a curved pipe must go up and around blockade. Okay, so, like, going up and around, but also dodging something. Okay, interesting. These are the same thing, I believe. Left half of a... What do we mean by left half of a curved pipe? Oh. Zigzagging steam vents. Oh, no. Okay. Sure. Just that, like, whooped up like this. Is that kind of what I meant? Maybe? Something like that? Your speed to go up the curve. Yeah. Well, now, the speed thing, you have to have speed or you fall, but it does cheat a bit more. Like, as long as you're... Basically, as long as you're moving, you're pretty much fine. Large cylinder, slowly spinning sideways. Is that like the cylinder slowly like doing this? Is that what I wanted out of that? That's possible. There's different like machinery that looks like it's doing different things. The whole magnet wall thing, but down here it's just go along the wall. Up here it's like, oh, weave around some pipes and stuff to get to those. A catwalk with hammers, so thin, but then also dodge stuff. Cool. And at this point, I'm just going through and just seeing a lot of the things that I had written a while ago. It said less pipe, gears like saw blades, hanging wire, electrifying multiple puddles of water. Cool. And these kind of zigzag, like they kind of cross. Same pipes releasing steam. Those are combined. Large hammers attached to gears, back and forth. Yeah. Curved path with those same things, I guess. Why not? Thin path, sure. Roller coaster, crossing track with double loop. Put the roller coasters over there. I 100%. wrote this and then a while later made the track forgetting that this is where I put that. Yeah, so that's a thing that I would need to change. One of two things. Either I move the path of the coaster to be over here, or I could do like a swap. That's something I might, yeah, readdress soon. I can also just replace what the hazard is, but ideally, okay, this is the thing I wanted, then have it somewhere, have it whoosh, whoosh, and you have to like go through, yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know how long I want the coaster to be, right? But like I could even just have it like detour here to go up and over, but I wouldn't want it to get in the way of all this other stuff. That's a concern, possibly. There's no like so far out of the way. If it's like there was this one that was like here, like slightly out of the way of this that I could use. Yeah, some of those I might have to like readdress, I guess. As I said before, a couple seconds ago, either by moving the coaster or moving I can't move these necessarily, but either moving the coaster or like swapping this with something else. Like if where do I have a double loop? I mean, this is kind of a whoosh and then around and then up kind of a thing. I don't know. This is just a singular loop that I think I wanted to have it be like, as you're going across here, you can get hit. But having that be only in the optional repair area is a little strange. Riding on top of large windy. I think I didn't mean windy. I think I meant windy, which is the same pipe. Okay, so roller coaster track. Have to run down before cart comes. That also doesn't match. I totally just didn't. What was I doing, man? All right. And if I'm gonna have that be a thing there, then like it being here, yeah, to be careful of like if you could get on it here and go all the way down and over. I have to make sure that's not a thing, unless I wanted it to be a thing for whatever reason. Okay. I think when I made this, I made it be like, oh, where are areas that you are around, so it's just like a visual spectacle you can see going around in the distance. It'll probably have multiple cars going around, I would think. Although if one breaks down, will the other just stop where he is? Maybe. That might be something I have to, like, care about. Well, it depends on the length of it. If it's not... If the total length of it isn't that long and the roller coaster itself is pretty fast, then I might just have one. That might be a thing I'd be... I have to see when I make it. I don't know. Hey, what time is it? It's 11:32. Okay, unfortunately, I think I'm kind of getting out of time. Might be for the best, though. Been just rambling away. Although, been, like... If this is what I'm going to be working on soon, kind of getting myself back into the mindset of what I was thinking when I made a lot of this, and noticing some mistakes with mainly just the roller coaster thing and how that affects some specific hazards. And I'm still not sure the best way I want to start this. So going away, I'll be able to think more about this, devise more of a plan, both conceptually and then physically. Like, am I going to whip out Pro Builder to start just connecting paths and all that sort of stuff? I don't know. We'll see. Figure that out. Or like I'm gonna like, I don't know, do something on the Blender side. We'll see. But at the very least, I think we made good progress with the other stuff in the other scenes that we were cleaning up and starting the venture towards making first real level. I want this to turn out well, obviously. No, I want it to turn out bad. Whoa, no. Yeah. So I'd like this to turn out good. And hopefully it will. Well, I expect it to start off being maybe rough, having some issues, and then hopefully we will, because I suspect that as we're building this, we'll be adjusting the player move speed and stuff with how the player controls in midair and all that sort of stuff. This level is going to be our testing ground for getting everything together, making it work, and all that stuff. And I look forward to, like, on one hand, I'm looking forward to, like, yeah, I actually started to make first bit of real game. On the other hand, I was nervous. I'm like, oh, God, like, how are we going to, make it all work? And hopefully we'll be able to get to a point where it's a pretty good, I'd like to think that we will, hopefully. Like, the programming side of things, and then the, like, the programming side of things and then the like Blender side of things are gonna be two different stories, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so I think we are gonna end things off here. So do outro and then I'll find someone to raid. So that'll do it for this live stream. If you liked it, look forward to more. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you around. I realized I did my outro a bit earlier because I had more things to actually ramble just as I'm outroing things. Tomorrow we're wait, no, what's on the schedule for tomorrow? Doom 64, I think. I missed a couple streams, so I have to like adjust. I think I'll be streaming tomorrow. I've been busy the last couple days, but I think I'll be streaming tomorrow, and then I'll be doing Doom 64. Then it'll be Easter. I definitely won't be streaming Friday. And Saturday and Sunday Easter things, I don't know if I will be, so we'll see. If not, it might be all the way to like Monday or something, and come back doing more of this. We'll see. And then after that, then we'll be going back to Heavy Rain and our quest to 100% that, and so on and so forth. So yeah, just that out of the way. Now, we are going to, I see Odat Nerd is there. Okay, I guess we're gonna raid him. Okay, blam, and yeah, and yeah. Okay, just waiting for that. Cool. Yeah, anyways, though, as I end things off here, though, yeah, looking forward to making more, actually starting to make, like, going from our test level stuff to actually making proper gameplay. It would be very cool to have an actual bit of real gameplay. It's just going to take some work to get there to, like, all this planning is nice. It is nice to be working off of this, having something to go off of rather than complete blank slate. But turning this into actual level is, of course, going to be a challenge, but a challenge I'm up for, I guess. I don't know. But we'll see if I can devise more of a proper strategy for doing this between now and next time that we're working on this. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, next stream we'll be starting to do this, which is exciting. Anyways, all right, that'll do it for this stream. See ya!